How are we, guys? Welcome to the channel if you're here for the first time, or hello to the regular viewers. How are we? Massive final, of course, today. Carlton basically fall into the finals, but give themselves basically a free hit at this one. And Brisbane, a lot of expectation on this one for them. So we'll see who can get on top out of either side. So they're just getting into their the lineups for the Australian national anthem. About 3 minutes till bounce. So let me know in the chat, guys, who you think's going to win tonight. I've tipped Brisbane, pretty obvious one, but I can see Carlton can win. I can see Carlton winning it. I think it would be the biggest upset out of any game, but I can see them winning it. And I mean, we obviously seen 2 of the 3 finals this weekend be upsets. You would say, like the favourite didn't win, so we'll see what happens. Cool, so that video is kind of ready to go. Alright. So the subs are Tom Taconing for Carlton, by the way, and Brisbane's is Connor McKenna. So, yeah, I've tipped Brisbane probably. I think this one. I think Brisbane will win this one pretty comfortably. I think Carlton will stay with them for a bit, but I think at the end, Brisbane will just run over the top of them. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see a world where Carlton win this one as well. So I think it's going to be a great game for at least 3/4 of it anyway. The Carlton Blues. I don't know if he meant to say it like that, but that was pretty cool. So they're just doing the national anthem, guys. So I actually don't think this will be starting in. Yeah, I don't think this will be starting in a minute. So we'll see how we go. Oh god, the singer's a bit up herself, singing the national anthem. Oh. I mean, it's well sung. It's just don't be a wank about it, you know. Now, how does she end it? Let's see if she ends it poorly. Oh no, she ended it well. Good job. I'll give her that. I thought she was gonna fuck it up, so at least she didn't immediately fuck up the national anthem. But here we go. Full house at the Gabba. Massive game. Obviously, Michael Voss, former Brisbane Lion, 3-time premiership player, here to try and ruin the party for them. A Brisbane Lions team who go in as heavy favourites. But Carlton basically free hit here. No one expects them to win this one. They get 6 inclusions. Sam Doherty obviously back as well after, only 150 odd days from an ACL. So Dane Zorko, now in the All-Australian was it last week as well? He's massive. Interesting to see what Carlton do to try and nullify some of the Brisbane speedsters and ball users as well. That's how Carlton are probably going to be beaten. I think Carlton's only way they win this game is if they win it from stoppage. Keep it as a stoppage game as well. So Harry Mackay obviously in the team as well. If you don't know, subs are Tom de Koning, surprisingly, and Connor McKenna. I don't know why they're starting Tom de Koning as the sub, but we'll see how that plays out. So we're going to need, I would expect Brodie Kemp to play up forward again tonight. Lewis Young is in the side, so that's my call to try and help out Harry Mackay. So the coin toss, the coin toss has been won by Brisbane. So Lachie Neale goes to his team to just give him the final message. Same with Patrick Cripps. Looking at the last 5 times these two teams have played, Brisbane have actually won the last 4, but of course Carlton won the big one in opening round right back at the start of the season. So final message, Patrick Cripps just giving to his team. Huge underdogs tonight. But how this season has gone, who knows what's going to happen. So Brodie Kemp, like I said, has gone forward with Harry Mackay to give him support up in the air. So here we go. Players moving into position now. Sam Doherty going to a wing. Massive game coming back for him. Win and you're through. Lose and you are out. Your season is done. Last final of the first weekend. Here we go. Bounce down. Pitting it up against McInerney in the ruck. McInerney gets the first tap. Hits it forward a good 15 metres. Archie with the gather. Newman, great wrap-up tackle. Holds him in. Umpire circles. And it'll be a ball up. Great tackle there from Nick Newman. Questioning the umpire. Looking for a free kick. Not going to get it. So it looks like maybe Dunkley going up against... No, it's not Dunkley. It looks like... We'll have to see that matchup on Patrick Cripps. Lachie Neale gets wrapped up there. It's another stoppage. No, it is Josh Dunkley. So Dunkley going at the stoppages there with Patrick Cripps. Looks like Chera's gone to Lachie Neale at this stage. McInerney with the tap down. McCluggage trying to gather Hollins. Did well through the core. Chera now to Walsh. She'll get the first clearance. An up and under ball towards half forward. Good snap away there from Jackson Payne. Now Dunkley. Up and under ball. Out wide it goes. Cowan should get there first. Cameron tracking him. Cowan got the kick away, a grubber. Ricochets off of Motlop's foot. To the advantage here of the Blues. Doherty about to get his first touch. Big roar around the ground with the handball. Wasn't the greatest. Mackay slammed into the turf. And it'll be a ball up. So Doherty gets a huge round of applause with his first touch. But it's on the outer wing at the moment. Just on the forward side here for the Blues. Tap down. McInerney fed it out to McCluggage. Just couldn't get it away. Hollins happy to just fumble that one over the boundary line. So early stages. First quarter, of course. Brisbane heavy favourites tonight. But a massive crowd in. Full house at the Gabba. So McInerney win it down again. Neale got it slapped away from him. Dunkley fed it out towards Zorko. The underground handball. Really to no one's advantage. Motlop, Hollins, and now Sard. One of the inclusions. Gets back on his left boot. Across his body. Not the greatest kick, Wilmot. Chucked the hands back, took a good mark. So Wilmot always want to go for a run. He drives it long towards in front of the interchange gates. All on his own is Charlie Cameron. He went to run. Played on. Now he kicks it across his body on the bounce. Good little smothering ball there from Cowan. And now he goes long, and now the Blues can counter. Doherty, great grab. Zorko was able to slow him up a little. That's a great grab there from Sam Doherty. Calling for a couple of lead-ups. He just works it short. Finds Chera. Yet another inclusion. Had Doherty in short. He's racking them up early. But now Cherry's just going to drive high and long. Looking for Pitternet, who floated into the space. Dropped an absolute sitter. High fend-off looked like from Walsh. Not paid. McInerney wraps him up. Mark Pitternet had an absolute soda of a drop mark there. Went back with the float all on his own. Probably expecting contact and dropped an absolute pud. Pitternet with the tap down. Walsh had an arm held. Play on. Motlop got a high one. Not going to be paid. Good comeback win from us. Yeah, Brendan didn't expect it throughout a lot of the game, but stole that one in the end. But we'll take it. Doesn't matter in a final, does it? Holland's pushed off the kick. Ricochets out to McCluggage. He works it out towards the wing. Hipwood tracks it. Trying to keep it in front of him. Rolls now to Young. It's a little bit too easy to break away there. Chera working it backwards. And now Sard takes a bounce. Gives off the handball. And now Newman goes wide with the kick on the one-on-one. Good mark there from Kemp. Took it in the hands. He's been really important the last couple of weeks. So Kemp's just going to hold it up. And he's going to set it up high and long now. Up and under ball. McInerney in the front spot. Took the grab. Didn't have a lot of it, but he'll pay it. Couple of decisions in the game today had me seething. They had a lot more of the mark than McInerney had just then, but anyway. So now McInerney just goes long down the wing. Looking up, going up was Berry, couldn't grab it. Now Neal fed it through nicely. Here go the Lions through the middle. Wilmot just jams it on the boot towards half forward. Going back is Wiedering. It's a foot race. Who's going to get there first? Bouncing ball. Cowan couldn't grab it cleanly. He's about to get wrapped up by Hipwood. Got the handball away towards the pocket. This is Cameron's sort of area, but he gets out of bounds. So good scrambling defence there from the Blues. Brisbane, first time they've locked him inside their forward 50. So looking for Charlie Cameron in this sort of play. Maybe Lohman as well. Umpire throws it in. Danaher up against Pitternet. Hits the turf. Bouncing across from Lohman. Cripps try to feed it towards Doherty. Deliberate. Calls a couple of Brisbane players, but the umpire not brave enough to call it. So still locked up here in the Lions forward 50. Still no score on the scoreboard at this stage. Umpire throws it back into play. Danaher went to take it out of the right. The little parry was nice. Lockie Neal slams it into the post. So the first score of the second elimination final. A little bit too easy there, Lockie Neal. It's up for a chance. Maybe even get his third Brownlow medal. Had no touch of that stoppage. Was very unlucky not to get that through. But now McGovern goes long down the middle of the ground with a kick in. McInerney should have marked. Handballed forward by Zorko. The tap on from Dunkley was smart. To Neal. He ducked back inside to Wilmot. Breaks 45. Drives it towards goal and hooks it to the left. So two early misses there for the Lions. They've had a couple of problems in the last month or so in front of goal. So they have to start getting a couple of goals on the board just to settle the nerves. So now Saar to take the kick in here for the Blues. Just going to go short here to McGovern. So he wants to go long down the wing. Just doesn't have that lead-up option. So he's just going to have to go in short here to Ollie Hollands, who takes it half back. So Carlton just working this up short and slow. Kennedy, been really important the last couple of weeks with a lot of outs. He's looking corridor. There's not a lot of options, though, so they're just going to go down the line once again. An up and under ball. Going back is Cripps. Good grab. He's going to have to get him on his back once again tonight. He dodges back onto his left foot. The inside kick looks okay. Good mark from McInerney. He's looked good so far. He gives it out the back to Leicester. So the Lions just settling it down a little. Now Andrews wasn't the 15 there, so he's just going to have to go back to the opposite pocket. And he finds Zorko. All-Australian this year, James Zorko, deserved 100%. He's been brilliant. Kick towards Lohman. Did well with the mark. He's been great for them this year. Zorko, little dab kick was nice. He keeps on running. He will want the receive. He's not going to get it. Hipwood just holds it up here. So just slow and steady here for the Lions. Neal in short. Finds Fletcher. So the Lions just settling it down a little bit here. They don't want to go too frenetic. Zorko, again, he's had about 4 touches in this chain. He hooks it back into the middle of the Gabba. They want to set this one up. Andrews just in short to Starskovic. He'll want to go. Just runs around Mackay a little too easily there. Drives it towards the pocket. Players looking for a free. Not going to get it. McInerney tucked up in the pocket. Happy to see it out of bounds. So a forward stoppage again here for the Lions. So Cam Rayner it was there. Couldn't get separation from Cowan. Trying to take a mark down low. So the Lions started strongly. So the umpire throws it back into play. Danaher's there. Couldn't get near it. Ball bounces a couple of times in front of Dunkley. Cripps wraps him up. So, of course, the story. Carlton fell into the finals, losing to St Kilda. All hope was lost. They somehow got through. Thank you to Port Adelaide, who had a very terrible first final, but Carlton weren't too concerned about that result. Hollands try to keep it in front of him here. In front with Fletcher, two young guns. Hollands did it pretty well, but now Zorko tracks it back. He runs one way, then another. Stubbed his toe on the kick. Somehow works and finds Wilmot. Zorko's looking very good early. Inside kick now to McCluggage. He switches it to Starskovic. He'll want to go. Goes with a bit of a wind up now. And Starskovic works it into the pocket for Danaher. Added too much on it. Runs out of bounds again. So this is, I think, the third or fourth forward stoppage already here for the Lions. We've only been about 6 minutes into this game so far. So Michael Voss just barking some instructions early to the runner. McInerney slapped it forward. Doherty should get there first, but the line will beat him. So the Lions just locking it in their forward half at the moment. Who will get the first blow on Saturday night? Massive crowds throughout the whole weekend. I think it's been a full house at every single game. Pidnett will take it out of the ruck. Immediately wrapped up by Rayner. Drop the footy. Play on, says the umpire. Lohman trying to gather. Two Lions with the tackle. It'll be another stoppage again. So Danaher just lurking around this stoppage here. May want to try and get around the back a little bit, Buddy Franklin style. Went up early there, Danaher. Pidnett stole it out of the ruck, thumped it forward. Couldn't take the mark. Mackay. Ricochets finds Payne. The inside handball on the bounce. Leicester couldn't get there. Hollands. Body lined it. Didn't take the footy though. Fletcher did well. Shoveled it out to Payne. He goes towards half forward. Brilliant looking ball. He finds Archie. Has a plethora of options. Goes the longest for Rayner. Good spoil. Getting there is Newman. Slapped it over for a behind. So Carlton doing well so far. Just to not concede too much on the scoreboard. Archie probably had to look for a little bit shorter there with that kick. Just blazed away. Wasted opportunity there for Brisbane. So now Newman looking interchange side. He'll wind up. He's run a long way there, Newman. Umpire was about to put the whistle to the mouth. Didn't do so. Berry cuts it off. He's got Zorko in short. He's also got Fletcher in the middle of the ground. He's just going to go long towards the pocket. Up goes Rayner. Went up too early. Got nowhere near it. It'll be a free kick to the Blues. Well, Rayner going in for a bit of a wrestle. So Wiedering will take the footy. So Wiedering goes long. Runs that line, the boundary line, and Berry's just going to take another intercept mark. So he wants to wheel. He'll send it high and long once again. Lohman is there. In front is Young. Danaher nearly snatched it from him. Lohman couldn't get it out of there. McGovern, little dribbling ball outside the defensive 50 for Hewitt. Cripps, off half back. Drives it long. He's only got one option here is Durden. Did pretty well in the end, but Starskovic thumps it out of bounds. So centre wing outside. Still neither side able to get a goal in this game. So Brisbane just blazing long at the moment. They may need to try and look shorter when they're going forward. They've got a lot of dangerous options, but not at the top of the goal square where they've gone nearly every time so far. So Kennedy is the second ruck at the moment. McInerney slapping it forward, only as far as Walsh. Fed it out to Sard. He's got a few touches early in this one. Hewitt ducks back against the traffic. Long ball. Starskovic in the perfect spot. So Starskovic feels short ball. They went about 4 metres. Dunkley in and under as he always is. Did well there. Ashcroft with the pick up. Dunkley just jams it on the boot towards half forward. Rayner stands tall. He wants to wheel now, Cam Rayner. He's going to drive it long towards the goal square. It may run all the way! Great finish there from Cam Rayner. And the Lions get the first. Good finish there from Cam Rayner. Always had the ability
just has found it very hard to try and show it consistently. That was a great finish there from Rayner, though. He's built for finals. Got a bit lucky with the bounce. Looked like it took a little bit of an off break late, but he won't mind too much about it. Great finish. So Brisbane doing a lot of the scoring so far. Carlton rarely added inside their forward 50. Oh yeah, that took it. Oh, it took it more of like a in-swinger. Yeah, it wasn't much of an off break, more of an in-swinging kick, that one from Cam Rayner, but a great finish. So back in the middle we go. Mackay took it out of the ruck, gave it straight to Cripps. Tried to get through the tackle. Did well there, McCluggage. Spun him 360, 720. He'll get rewarded. So now McCluggage looking for an option. He's just going to send it high once again. In front is Hipwood. Got it. Couldn't take the mark. Hollins. Back to Newman. Oh, that's deliberate. I think he handled it into Loman's hand, so I got a bit lucky with that one. So a roll out of bounds. So another forward stoppage here for Brisbane. That was a brilliant tackle there from Hugh McCluggage. Had to lock the arm of Patrick Cripps. So strong in the core. And dropped the footy. Throws it back into play. Kennedy took it out of the ruck. Missed the footy with the kick. Hipwood tried to get it back to Dunkley. McGovern intercepts that one. Gives it back. Cripps. A dribbling inside kick was dangerous. Hewitt will get a high free kick. So George Hewitt at half back. So Carlton been well dominated in the early proceedings of this game, but they're only down by 9 points. So Hewitt, short little kick, finds Motlop. He's got a couple of options in the middle of the gap. It's a dangerous, terrible kick. Williams got a bit lucky here. Durden gets it out wide with a kick for Akers. Always keeping his width. The low dart was dreadful. And now Starskovic can repel. Long kick, up goes Sard. Did well in front there. Was Morris keeping it in front. Durden did well. Fed it through to Akers. And now Sard trying to get back onto his left boot. Got a kick away. Good mark going back was Fletcher. Oh, it's gone out of play. So Carlton get a little bit lucky there. That was their first inside 50 for 8 minutes. Giselle in the commentary, the Blues. Wasted a few opportunities there to get it forward and have a real impact on the scoreboard. Blake Akers probably had a license just to go for goal there. Danaher couldn't get an effective hit out. Now McCluggage. Up and down the ball towards the wing. In front is Wiedering. Great grab. Looks like Morris may have like a defensive role on him tonight. Wide kick. He hits up Akers. In fact, that's Kennedy. So Kennedy's going to go along with the kick. High ball. Starskovic in the spot. So is Mackay. Couldn't mark Fletcher. Fumbled it out. Cripps fed it through to Williams. Snapping ball towards goal. Going back with the flight was Fantasia. Just out of his grasp and runs out of bounds. So the Blues getting a couple of opportunities at the moment. So they'll lock it up now, the Blues. Try and get an opportunity at goal. Looking for a Durden or a Motlop at this stoppage. Maybe even Patrick Cripps can get on a move. He's in fact in the ruck. He went for it, bounced in front of him. Cripps breaks one tackle. Back to Kennedy who fumbled. Had to go back and fight for it. Dropped it out to Wilmot. He gets it outside the defensive 50. Well done there from Young to just soccer it off the ground. Walsh fed it out the back to Doherty. Up and under ball, went about 5 metres. Not going to be paid to 15. Dunkley spoiled it forward. Hipwood went through his legs. Bailey going up against Young, who went high. Bit lucky there was Zach Bailey. It'll be a ball up. Couple of fumbles in the early proceedings of this game. Cripps takes it out of the ruck and just bullocks his way through. Gets onto his right boot. A kick towards 50, 3-on-3 inside, fisted away from Andrews, in front, good handball, missed McCluggage, and it runs out of bounds. So a lot of stoppages in this game so far. Dunbar throws it back into play. Kennedy up in the ruck. Danaher pushed him underneath it. Just couldn't grab it cleanly. Cripps wraps him up. Ball underneath. And it will be called by the umpire. So that's 55-60 out from the Blues goal. So Patrick Cripps up in the ruck. He tries to take it out once again. McCluggage slammed into the turf by Patrick Cripps. Ball up again. Wouldn't be surprised if a silly free kick's called out in a moment. Danaher trying to get a bit of a run up at the hit out. Cripps stands in front of him. Lohman. In fact, the Ashcroft couldn't get it out of there. Had a handball. Couldn't feed it out. Now Doherty ducked the head. Fed it through. Did well. Hewitt runs an arc and sends it long. Top of the goal square. Who's there for the Blues? Going backwards Leicester. Got a fist towards it. Durden threw a fist as well. Through now. Motlop can't get it out of there. Williams fed it out towards Mackay, who dropped it. Wilmot. And now Ashcroft. Low kick was brilliant there from Will Ashcroft. Showing maturity every game he plays. McCluggage now. Great kick. Hits up Hipwood. He'll want to wheel. Onto that left boot. He had 2 handball options. Just says, no, I've got it myself, boys. He goes long. Dangerous kick to Morris. Good work from Cowan. Morris fighting hard. Rayner. The fend off was well done. Then the second. Handball over the top. Turned it over. Kennedy. Kick out wide. That's going to be called deliberate. Insufficient intent. I think it came off the side of his boot, but it was obviously going to be paid. So free kick now to the line. Starskovic works it back inside. Hits up Wilmot. So true centre wing. Commentary side. Works it short to Ashcroft. He can go for the long switch. I think he's going to be a little bit more conservative. He will. Oh, great kick from Ashcroft. Was winding up to go long. They just cut the kick. Hit up Joe Danaher just inside the forward 50. Jesse Motlop stands. Who is your favourite Port v Hawks? Far out, dude. How long's a piece of string? Christ. I don't know. It's an Adelaide Oval, but Hawthorn just looks so red hot. I almost think Hawthorn, to be honest with you, Mark. So Joe Danaher. He'll kick from outside 50. He likes this sort of distance. He's able to put his boot laces straight through it. And he drives it through, Big Joe. The Lions have the first 2. Same. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have faith in Port Adelaide. I was giving them some faith going into that first final when they got absolutely demolished. My brother's not too confident either, being a Port fan, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah. That was a great kick from Will Ashcroft going inside the forward 50. So good finish there from Joe Danaher. 15-point leaders now the Lions. Free kick in the middle of the Gabba's going to be going to... It's going to be going to Brisbane. Carlton thought it was theirs. Oscar McInerney now. He's going to drive it high and long once again. Who's in front? Danaher got pushed underneath it a little. Ricochet's now to him. Trying to feed it out. Held without it. Umpire's there. Doesn't pay it. And it'll be a ball up. About 30 out here from Brisbane's goal. Carlton need a settler. Right now they're getting demolished. Pidnet pushed in the back. Wasn't paid by the umpire. Dunkley trying to feed it out of there. Blues lock it in. Danaher looking dangerous at these stoppages. Tap down from him. Pidnet tried to get a kick away towards Lockie Neal. Couldn't grab it on the first attempt. Went back and got it. Almost got legged. Ashcroft looking for the high one. Not paid by the umpire. Williams turned it over. And now Lohman. He's been an inspiration this year. Oh, the blonde whiz kid. Great finish. They've got 3. Carlton can't repel at the moment. The Lions are dominating. They lead it by 21 points. Carlton yet to score. And at the moment, it's struggling to see who's going to be able to provide it for him. Great work there from Neil. Just fed it out. Looking for the... Just in and under Brisbane. Every single Brisbane player going for the footy. They're the first one there and they're the first to feed it out. And then Lohman just jumped straight on top of Lachie Neale, made him collapse. But it was a nice celebration. I prefer the Hawthorn celebrations, but still not too bad. Tap down from Pidnet. Cripps. Bouncing ball towards the wing. Turn it over. Zorko. Going to send it back inside that forward 50 with a tumble punt. In front, Hipwood. Brisbane flexing their muscles. And now Carlton too busy fighting. Joe Danaher. Joe the Goose at the back. They've got 4 in the first quarter. And a little bit of a laughing stock there. Carlton just let that one get out the back. That was pretty embarrassing. Too busy fighting. Left a player out the back. Easy as you like. Now, we know last time these two teams played in a final, Carlton kicked the first 5 goals of the game, and Brisbane came back and won it. So, it's not saying that's going to happen tonight, but right now, Carlton are in all sorts. So as it happens, it's Logan Morris who puts, I think, a knee into the back of Lewis Young, and then they're too busy fighting. Joe Danaher at the back will get through second. So Carlton, almost a breaking strain with 5 minutes to go in the first term. Tap down from McInerney. Neale gets out the back of him. Hewitt fed it through nicely to Walsh, who gets dragged down. Great pressure from the Lions. McCluggage, the little kick over the top, the little 9-iron for Will Ashcroft, who dragged it in, did well. The kick inside the forward 50, a bit of a grubber. Can't get there as Charlie Cameron. It runs out of bounds inside the forward pocket. It has lived inside the Brisbane forward 50 in this first quarter. Carlton just have to hold strong here. They go down by 27 points a quarter time. It's a lot better than what it's looking like. This could be 40 plus points at this stage. If Brisbane continue on. Tap out the back from McInerney. Holland's wrapped up, got a handball away. Cripps fed it through, missed the handball though. Morris through to Lohman, out the back. Bailey got push as he kicked it. Last line of defence, Carlton have numbers. So Chera works it short, finds Newman. Just locked in this defensive 50 here, Carlton. Walsh trying to give him an option. He's just going to have to drive it long, though. Newman goes high. In front was Kemp, couldn't mark it. Good work from Williams. Up and under ball going up. Before it was Kennedy. Payne just snatched it from him. Big inclusion going into finals. Jackson Payne. So Payne just works it wide. Hits up Ainsworth. Looking for an option. He might as well just drive it long once again. They've looked so dangerous in this first quarter, Brisbane. All on his own is Cameron. Wiedering couldn't mark. Morris, little out the back trick was nice. Lohman wrapped up. So 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Carlton yet to score. Brisbane almost having them a breaking strain. Hollands can't feed it out of there. Neale bullocking his way through to Berry. Morris through to McCluggage on the left boot. Snapping too much. And he's just snuck it through from behind. So Newman will take the kick in here. If you remember today, though, the Swans were down by 27 points against the Giants. And they were able to fight their way back into the game and win it. It's not all doom and gloom yet for Carlton, but they've got to start getting the ball forward, start getting some shots on goal. So Adam Chera at half-back goes towards the wing, looking for the one-on-one. It's Kemp as the option. In front, Andrews. Harris Andrews, All-Australian jacket this weekend. Last weekend, sorry. Well-deserved. Zorko inside to McCluggage. Little kick over the top. They've got the overlap here. The lines they can go. Ashcroft gives it back to McCluggage. He kicks it. Little 9-iron on the lead is Charlie Cameron, who can just hold it up, take his 30 seconds, and drive a pretty deadly dagger into Carlton late stages of the first term. The Charlie Cameron run a bit second fiddle to a lot of the forwards this year. Hasn't had an outstanding campaign, but of course he can stand up in the big finals. So Charlie Cameron drives it long. won't get towards goal. He's hooked it right. Hooked it left, sorry. $29 points. Sardines short to Wiedering. Michael Voss not too impressed at the moment. 2.5 minutes still left in this first term. If Carlton can just hold on, maybe Voss can get some instructions out to his troops. But right now, another turnover. He's kicked it on the full. So now Payne can drive it back inside that forward 50. It's where he's going to go. Sets it up. High ball. Morris went over and grabbed it! Great mark from Logan Morris. Stuck the Dukes up. And can pile on some more pain for the Blues. Cowan had no body on him. Not good enough. Showed him no respect. And he did brilliantly in the air. Memorable debut just before the game. Had a Big Mac meal, I believe. Played a pretty good first game. I think it was against Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. Played in a draw. First final for him, of course. He comes in, kicks the goal, and the Lions have the Blues at breaking strain late in the first quarter. Getting a bit ugly. 5 goals, 35 plays Carlton, who are yet to score. Minute 42 on the clock in the first term. So they've had to change that makeup of the forward line since last year's grand final. With injury through Lincoln McCarthy, they've chucked young guns in Kyle Lohman and this guy here, Logan Morris. And they've added a new lease on life to this Brisbane Lions team. That's a great mark in the end. So Pidnett, little easy abouts for him. Walsh handled over the top to the voice. Berry tried to cut that one off. McCluggage couldn't gather it cleanly. Chera looking for the free kick. And it'll be a ball up. So Carlton desperately need a goal going into quarter time here. At the very least, have to keep Brisbane scoreless for the remainder of it. McInerney tapped it out. Wilmot all on his own at the stoppage. Sends a torpedo ball towards half forward. Going backward mark from Lewis Young. That's a good grab from him. Gives it off to Sard. Pressure ball here for Carlton. They're trying to get some run into their game. A little bit manufactured and they've turned it over. Neil, long handball now to Morris. He goes further back. They're going to set this one up once again. Wilmot goes high, wide towards Cameron. Going back with the flight was McGovern. Couldn't grab it cleanly. Out of bounds it goes. Two former teammates with each other back in the 2017 grand final. Mitch McGovern and Charlie Cameron. Just renewing hostilities there. So under a minute in this first term. Brisbane lead it by 35 points. They have dominated. At the ruck, Akers through to Newman. He's got an overlap handball, now finds Chera. He can hook it across his body. Not the greatest looking kick. Gets at the back here. Fantasia sockers it off the ground for territory. Runs towards centre half forward. Motlop holds him up. So at 55-60 out here from Carlton's goal. Maybe they can trouble the scorers here late. Throws it back up. Pidnett takes it out of the ruck. Got the try to get a kick away. Then he slammed it into Lockie Neal's stomach. And another stoppage. Michael Voss is pleading to get out there at the moment. Last team to be scoreless at quarter time in a final was North Melbourne back in 1974. Carlton on that line at the moment. Akers trying to make that change. Goes high inside the forward 50, but Harris Andrews had his name written all over it. And he's going to get 50. So now Brisbane could maybe even get another goal here. Andrews charging towards the forward 50. Gives it off to McCluggage. He has to duck back. Try and get away from the danger. Fed it through to Starskovich. Tumble punt forward. Going there's Berry. Pushed away Sam Doherty. And now Jared Berry will go back on the siren to pile on more pain for Carlton. So Jared Berry will have the last kick of the first quarter. You didn't have Carlton being scoreless at quarter time. At the moment, they'll be lucky to score it all in this game. They're playing dreadful. So Jared Berry been very good in this first quarter. Really important player for them, of course. So Jared Berry. Such an important player for the Brisbane Lions. Doesn't get all the accolades of the likes of Lachie Neale. But he's a brute in there. He goes long, and in fact, he's not even going to score. So, Brisbane, despite that little bit of a mediocre end to the first quarter, they were outstanding. They kept Carlton scoreless in that first term. They kicked 5 goals of their own at a quarter time, lead by a whopping 35 points. 5-5, 35 to the Lions. Lead Carlton, who were scoreless. Alrighty. No, I didn't predict Carlton to get nothing. But I guess you can look at it this way. It can't get much worse. You can only score from here, I guess. Well, I guess it could get worse. Brisbane could pile on some more goals. The only thing that Carlton have in their favour is the fact that Brisbane haven't put them away. They could have kicked 10 goals. They had so many easy opportunities. But looking at it at a quarter time, Hugh McCluggage been absolutely outstanding. 10 touches. Actually, I can probably show you guys, actually. Actually, hang on. Yeah, alright. And then there to... Nope. There. Nope. Fuck. There we go. Alright, there we go. That's what I wanted to show. Alright, so looking at it at quarter time, guys, on the statistics front, Hugh McCluggage leading on the AFL fantasy front, but 10 disposals. He's been amazing. Dane Zorko with the 9 with Cripps, who's basically been the only blue to keep their head up high at this stage. Jared Berry, like I said, was brilliant. 9 touches. Darcy Wilmot with the 8. And then the goal scorers here, Joe Danaher was brilliant in that first term. He's got 2 goals. Cam Rayner, Logan Morris and Kai Lohman are the other goal scorers. And yeah, that's basically about it. Will Ashcroft was brilliant in that first term as well. There weren't too many Brisbane players who played poorly, let's just put it that way. Brendan Sarskovic had some good moments. Oscar McInerney's done well in the ruck. I honestly wouldn't be too surprised if they make the sub early on Tom De Koning. I know he's like a bit... there's a bit of a concern on him, but at this stage, that you might as well throw caution to the wind. Bring him on. Might as well. I don't know. Alright, I hate the Colgate with Isaac Heaney. It's all good, whatever. I like Isaac Heaney, of course, but also a bit of a wank of an advert. Okay, that Nick Nat-Nui advert was epic. For the Google Plus. I need a drink. I'll be back in a sec. Oh. You witchy blue. So players starting to move back into the positions for the second term. Brisbane, as you guys can probably see on the scoreboard, dominated that first term. And Carlton kind of living up to the name of just filling up the numbers at this stage of the finals. So Brisbane lead it by 35 points. They were brilliant in that first term. The winner of this, of course, goes up against the Giants in the semi-final. What a game that's going to be. So here we go. Second term about to get underway. So umpire's about to bounce this one down. Carlton need to lift if they want to keep their season alive. Pidnett tried to take it out of the ruck, threw it out, little soccer forward, only as far as Wilmot, who goes the other way with the kick. Wasn't very good though, and McGovern cuts it off. He wants to wheel and go here. A little bit more speed in the game the Blues want. He goes high inside the forward 50. Mackay pushed underneath it. Payne should have marked it. Dropped a sitter. Now Hewitt shrugged away one tackle. The inside outer kick. Brisbane have the numbers. Last line is Ryan Lester. So now Lester. He goes wide with the kick, not the greatest. Harris Andrews, strong hands. That's a great grab. He's been good so far. Harris Andrews been brilliant all year. So now Harris Andrews. He's going to go wide and long with this kick. In front, Pidnett. Brought it to ground, got the kick away. Long ball in front, was that Wiedering. Couldn't mark, now Akers. Sends it inside the forward, 51-on-1. Mackay couldn't mark. Kemp tried to shrug the tackle high. Handballs it towards out the back for Mackay. Couldn't get the handball long enough. Akers kept it in front of him. Tried to get it out to Cripps. Then it gets out of bounds. But Carlton, basically for the first time in this game, have some territory. So Akers just grabbing at his shoulder. It's actually been strapped before the game, so hopefully that's all good. He's such an important player for them. So George Hewitt looks like he's gone to Lockie Neal at the stoppage here. Tap down, gets out the back towards Neal. Fletcher broke away a little bit too easily there from Cripps. Dunkley back to Berry. Snapping ball. He's been knocked down after the kick, so it'll be a free kick downfield here for Brisbane. So Cal Archie will get the free kick. Just locked it inside there, Carlton, and as soon as they lock it in, they give away a dumb free kick. So now Archie. He goes down the line with the kick. Great mark in front from Young. They've started a lot better in this second turn, the Blues. So now Young. Wide-ish kick towards Cripps, couldn't mark, kept it in bounds for the moment. Did well there to get back onto it. Akers feigned the give, headed back inside. Hewitt, they've got a little bit of overlap here. Carlton, short little kick over the top. Oh, Walsh nearly got in front of Kennedy. Fell over, nearly tripped him over. He gives it off to Mackay, and he hits it on the instep, kicks it on the full. He was winding up for the long launch there, Harry Mackay. Kind of slipped as he kicked and kicked it out on the full. So Andrews works it short to Berry. So they're just slowing it down a little bit here, Brisbane. Andrews. Kick over the top. The pressure's just not good enough here from Carlton at the moment. Wilmot. So Wilmot wants to go wide with the kick. Nice looking ball here. Good mark up high there from Starskovic. Just works it short. Now Berry. It's been good so far, Jared Berry. Short kick to McCluggage. They went about 16, but wasn't paid by the umpire. Gives it back to Berry. He'll go low with a kick. Couldn't stop it there, the Carlton defenders, until Wiedering got in front of it. Hands it out to Sard. He'll take a bounce. He needs to get into this game. Inside kick was nice to Motlop. He wants to go. Got away. Wilmot did well to track him down. Handball to Hollins. He spun 360. Got away with it. Got it back to his brother. Ollie Hollins did well. Grubber towards Hewitt. He sends it into the pocket. Towards Kemp. He tracks it down. Trying to get a little bit of a move going. Brody Kemp. He's going to wind up. Hooking ball in the pocket. Blues have the numbers. Goes too far out on the full. Kemp just didn't look like he had the attributes to wheel around and kick that goal there. Still yet to score here, Carlton, but they've got some territory. Payne Goes wide towards Andrews. Looked like he was going to mark that. Good work from Pidnett to get there late. Cowan sends it back where once it came. Mackay and a 2-on-1. Leicester. Brilliant mark. That should be 50. Not going to be paid. Goes short to Zorko. And now they want to switch it here, the Lions. They've got some run. Here they go. Berry again. He's been everywhere in the second term. Goes long with the kick for Danaher. Will it stay in bounds? It does. Danaher feigned one way. Saad did want to corral him. He did really well in the end. Cameron just fed it back to Danaher. He's usually a good kick inside the forward 50. Brilliant. It's up Hipwood. Just when Carlton were threatening to get their first score, Brisbane could pile on another. Will Ashcroft just having his knees strapped there. Not the greatest of concerns on the faces on the bench, but not the greatest look at the moment. So Eric Hipwood going a long way back on this run-up. Bit of a Ben Brown run-up here. So Eric Hipwood. 23 goals, 18 from set shots this year. He's run a long way back. Not really known for a long run-up. He's going to wheel up. Goes long and he's hooked it. Dangerously left. Didn't he make the distance? McInerney couldn't mark. Fighting hard though. Doherty got the kick away. Turned it over to Charlie Cameron. And you don't want to do that! Cameron, great finish in the pocket. Lions just keep on piling on even more pain. Great atmosphere at the Gabba. Country Road starts playing in the speakers. And Brisbane right now threatening to make this the biggest finals win of the weekend. Doherty just couldn't clear it effectively enough. Turned it straight over. And Charlie Cameron doesn't need much space to get into his work. He did well there. Well, it'll be the last time they play in Brisbane this year. But who knows? Maybe they can give their crowd something to get excited about. Tom de Koning starting to warm up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's too far away. McInerney tapped out. Hewitt couldn't get there. Rayner breaking through. Handball out the back. Wilmot just broke away with too much ease. Shoveled it out to Ashcroft. Good tackle from Walsh. Wilmot had to fight back and get it. Neal dodged out of one. Handball over the top. They've just got all the answers at the moment, the Lions. Bailey gets onto his right boot. Hooks it back inside the forward 50. Archie is there. Lohman as well. Neither could mark. Ricochet's out. Free kick called. Going to be going to Carlton. So Nick Newman gets the free kick. So Nick Newman. Long with the kick. Looking in the one-on-one. Pidnett gets up. Did a good mark. Chera. Hewitt. They link up nicely here, Carlton. Akers with the kick. Terrible. Terrible kick. Runs out of bounds. So they get the stoppage, but he had to hit that option there, Blake Akers. 41 points. Interestingly enough, Carlton have had the territory in the second term. They had 6 inside 50s to 2. Brisbane had the only goal of it, though. He's getting Grippo on his hands now, Tom de Koning. He's not far away. They're going to pull the trigger. Pidnett takes it out of the ruck. Turned over. Neal. The dribbling ball down the wing. Hollins is there. Couldn't get there. Morris did nicely to gather. Turned it over. Lohman. Crunching tackle. Did well. Brisbane just keep on piling it on. Interesting to see who comes off here. I wouldn't say Pidnett's the option straight away off the bat, but just interesting. He's starting to warm up, though. He won't be too far away. At this moment, the only question is it too late at this point? No, he's gone back to the back of the bench, so may not come on soon. No, I think he is coming on. So McInerney tapped it down. Wilmot tried to get the kick away, got it smothered. Hewitt fed it through well. Akers did it nicely at Carlton. Hollins going to send it inside the forward 50 with a tumble punt in front. Couldn't mark. There was Payne. Zorko, a little bit of danger, but always lives up to it. Did well. Finds McCluggage. So 41 points. Carlton, a lot better signs in his second term. Still yet to score. Akers tried to cut off that kick. Fighting hard for it was Bailey. Akers did well. Dragged down, was legged. Got a handball away. It'll be a free kick to Blake Akers back where he handballed it. Zorko got a bit of a quarterback arm there. Not too bad. Tom Brady would have been pretty proud of that throw. So now Akers goes towards the top of the goal square, looking for a flyer. Couldn't mark. Hits the ground. Ashcroft fed it through. He'll get the 1-2. And off they go again, Brisbane. He'll get it back here, Ashcroft. He'll just link up through the middle pretty much with relative ease. Ainsworth gives it off to Wilmot. They can run it to the goal line here. Archie takes the mark. Held up by Wiedering. And Cal Archie will just go back, take his time. Oh, there's someone down in the middle of the ground here for Brisbane holding his knee. It's Jack Payne. That's some real big concern there right now for Jack Payne. I'll have to look at the contest where he went down. Oh, there wasn't much in that at all. That's really bad for Jack Payne. That's really a big concern there for Jackson Payne. He's going to come off the ground. He basically was standing at the back of a marking contest. Little shuffle of his knee and he's could be out for the rest of the season. Archie goes back though. Great news stories all around here for the Lions. They've got their 7th goal. They lead it by 47 points. So Jack Payne walking off the ground very, very slowly. So he'll get assessed, but he's dejected. He looks dejected at the moment. So Matt Kennedy has been subbed out for Carlton. Such an interesting decision. I don't know why him of all people. So Tom Nakoni's into the game. 12 minutes still to go on this second term. Carlton are yet to score. Dunkley couldn't get there. Tom Nakoni trying to get his first impact on the game. Did well. Shoveled it out to Doherty. The short kick cut off. Dane Zorko. Brisbane are adamant to keep the Blues scoreless. And they're going to go again here, Brisbane. Fletcher takes a bounce. He's got options aplenty. He's going to go long. And he went to Wiedering. Not the best kick. So now Jake Wiedering. He's going to switch to the play here. Finds Hollins. He goes wide with the kick to Fantasia. So the Carlton fans, not hoping for a miracle, but hoping for a really good performance. Right now, the travelling fans paid a huge amount of money to watch a pretty dismal performance so far. Long kick, Williams got a fist onto it, runs out the back. Starskovic should get there first. Good clean pick-up, Dunkley. Fed it out to Danaher. He's got Zorko in support. He gives it off. And now Zorko just breaks away with ease. He'll kick it long. Great kick in the end on the lead, all on his own as Lohman. He's got the Gabba wing to himself. He goes inside the forward 50 on the lead. Logan Morris, couple of young Lions combined. Now Morris is going to set up to the top of the goal square. Lions have the numbers everywhere. Rainer goes up! The Rainmaker! Great grab, smile on his face. Tears down a big mark. I think Isaac Heaney's got him beat, but that was still a great grab. Everything's going right now for Brisbane. So Cam Rayner got this game started with the first goal of it. He comes in, kicks it dead straight in Brisbane. You wouldn't want to face them at the moment. Lead it by 53. Bit of Sweet Caroline playing on the speakers right now for Cam Rayner. Well, Carlton, I mean, they've said, basically everyone said, and myself, this is a free hit for them, but right now they're playing so timid. They're playing like they've got all to play for when at the moment, I mean, they've really, this is a free hit for them. They could throw caution to the wind at this point. So back in the ruck. To Koning, slaps it down. McCluggage got the kick away towards half forward on the bounce. Lohman did want to push his opponent underneath it. He'll run onto it. Good tackle from Hollands. That was brilliantly done. Should be rewarded, and he is. That's a lot better. So now Hollands looking corridor. Might as well. Drives it into the middle. Going up there was Hollands. His brother couldn't mark. Ricochets now to Zorko. He ducks away from one. He's got a lot of options. He's just going to go and find Zach Bailey. Deliver him a goal. He hasn't got one yet. Well, to put it lightly, this is a bit of a shit show for Carlton, I'm going to be honest. 25 inside 50, 17 for Carlton. So Carlton have had it in there. They just haven't scored. Simply not good enough. So now Zach Bailey comes in. Yet to trouble the scorers? Well, he has now! 9 goals in a row. Carlton yet to score. Brisbane almost got an eye on next week already. Well, Dane Zorko, probably been the best on the ground, I'd say, at this point. He has been amazing. I mean, so many of his teammates have gone with him, but he has been probably the best on the ground, in my opinion. Every time he's touched it, it's turned to a goal almost. Well, when the Giants are playing him next week, if Toby Bedford's back, you know exactly where he's going. McInerney did well. Neil got a handball back to McInerney. They'll get the clearance again, Brisbane. In front, taken by Bailey. It's an absolute procession at the moment. All the Brisbane Lion players are lining up for goals. So Bailey's going to set it up. Top of the goal square. Looking for an option. Hipwood went up a bit early. Didn't have the ride. Lohman tucked up in the pocket. Happy to be shoved over the boundary line. Throws it back into play. Brisbane looking for a 10th goal. Do Koning won it down. Sard just jams it on the boot, up and under. A little bit of a chimney job. Who's going to get there? McInerney back with the flight. Fisted out by Cripps. McInerney with the tap down. Hollands got the kick forward. Cripps can track it down. Zorko again. Just runs that one over the boundary line. Even running it over the boundary line looks amazing from Dane Zorko. McInerney just almost threw that out. Neil to Wilmot. Sends it high once again. One-on-ones inside the forward 50. Morris couldn't mark. Newman pushed around it. Sard wrapped up by Bailey. Fed it out. Morris. He'll dribble it. He'll roll it. He'll miss. So now it's 10 goals even. He's got a bit of a Sydney Swans Port Adelaide job about it at the moment. So now Nick Newman. Well, at this point, you probably sit there and say, why didn't Carlton just play all the guys they took out? I mean, it wouldn't have been much better. So Mackay gets up and takes the mark at half back. So he goes long down the wing. Mark out the back from Ainsworth. It's a good grab in the end. Goes out wide with the kick to Danaher. He wants to give off the handball to Zorko. He's not going to. He will just drive it long here, Joe. High ball. Numbers there with the Lions. Morris got a bit of a shepherd off that ball. Couldn't mark it. Coming through was Durden. Tap on by Fantasia. Handball from Hewitt and now Hollands. Jams it on the boot. Long ball. 2-on-1 here for Brisbane. Numbers here for Andrews. Kemp tracking it. Be a win if Carlton can get this one out of bounds, and they do. So they just said on the commentary, the lowest ever score at halftime is 2 behinds. So Carlton, I would like to... I know that as soon as they say those sort of records, that usually someone will get a score to just knock that off. But at this stage, it is a dreadful performance from Carlton in this first half. But don't take anything away from Brisbane. They have been brilliant so far. Their pressure has been amazing. Their footy nous has been just first class. Dane Zorko has been brilliant, especially. He's been the dominant of the dominant. De Koning tried to take it out of the ruck, dropped it. Berry fighting hard. Good tackle from De Koning. It spills out now. Cripps got tackled, handballed it out somehow. Dunkley at the back to Ashcroft. And now Zorko. Low dart. Somehow still works off the turnover. McCluggage inside kick was dangerous. Good spoil coming across there was Young. Hollands wrapped up by Dunkley. Ball spills out. Ashcroft couldn't get the kick away. Hewitt fighting hard did well. Young got boots to ball. Tried to claim the mark there was Fantasia. Then missed the handball. Walsh back to Fantasia. Zorko tackles. He does everything. Dane Zorko, the little magician. He was the original magician. People too busy talking about Nick Watson. This guy was the original. Takes it out of the ruck there to Koning. Fed it through now. Cripps to Chera. Doesn't have any options. He's just going to have to go along with it. 1-on-1 inside the forward 50. Gets out the back here. Carlton can get through. Fantasia. Little socket to himself. Pushed away from it with relative ease by Leicester. And Brisbane will repel once again through Zorko. Have the numbers on the wing everywhere. Brisbane, they can raffle it. Fed it through nicely. Ashcroft. Berry. Out the back through against the grain from Hipwood to Neal. On the toes of McCluggage. They just make it look easy anyway. Ashcroft to Hipwood. He can go long. Not a very good kick. And Danaher just dejected. Just says, don't worry about it. Let Wiedering take the mark. Went to run. Then realised he didn't have that option. So he gives it back to Cowan. Little chiseler. Hits up Motlop. 5.5 minutes in this first half. Carlton yet to score. He goes long. Cripps in a 1-on-1. Dunkley gives away the free. Patrick Cripps pleading to the umpire and eventually gets it. So now Cripps just sends it up and under. Looking for something. For hope. Andrews gets a fist to it. Zorko again. He's been brilliant. Answorth. A little kick over the top. Hits up Berry. And he'll just hold it up. He's got Answorth on the lead all on his own. And he'll just hit him up. Oh, he dropped the mark. Gets back up. And he gets the possession. Bailey to Neal. The little dribbler down the wing. Carlton have the numbers. Wiedering will get there first. Just pulls it back in. He doesn't know what to do about it. Shoos a fly away and then goes in short to Young. So Lewis Young on the wing. He goes wide with the kick, very wide. Couldn't mark, hit the ground. Cripps fighting up against Answorth, did well. Starskovic just holds it in. It'll be another stoppage, about 65 out from Carlton's goal. 4.5 minutes left. No team has ever been held scoreless at halftime in a VFL or AFL game. AFL final, sorry. Tap down from Mackay towards Zorko. He gathers. He's going to go with the inside-outer job toward down the wing. He's done really well there, Dane Zorko. And now Hipwood. He goes into the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous-looking kick. He's missed the kick to Ashcroft. Going there, tracks it down Fantasia. Did well to feed it out. Now Walsh. Can he try and change that record? He goes out wide with the kick. It's a good option in the end. Hits up Hewitt. Over the top with the handball for Williams. He's got Mackay in the pocket, who ducks back with the lead, but it's a dreadful looking kick. Answorth drops the sitter, gives it off Durden, and now Patrick Cripps. Oh, it's not going right at all. Has he got it? Oh, he's got it. Patrick Cripps has actually got that goal. It looked dreadful off the boot, but he steered it home, and Carlton finally have a goal. So Carlton finally get their first goal. Who else but Patrick Cripps? In an absolute embarrassment of a first half, Patrick Cripps ends it on a bit of a high note. Awkward kick there by Eric Hipwood. And then Ainsworth with a drop mark, and then Patrick Cripps. Oh, he almost slammed it into the post. I think he yelled out, "Thank fuck." So it's a warning 666 against Brisbane. So Jackson Payne back on the bench, which is a good sign. We'll see if he comes back on. Hopefully all the best for him. Taken out of the right by Pidnet, dropped it on the ground, fills out to Walsh, and now they'll get the clearance. Maybe 2 goals in a minute here for the Blues. It gets out the back. Getting there first is Leicester. He goes for the clearing ball out towards the commentary side wing. Getting underneath it there, couldn't take it in. There was Bailey, but he got a free kick to get a bit lucky from it. So a free kick to Zach Bailey. 3.5 minutes still to go in this first half. He goes in short. Hits up Ashcroft. You're boring me, Carlton. Hurry up. Short kick from Ashcroft to Bailey. Goes wide with the kick. McGovern got a fist towards it. Cripps fed it out. Did well. Newman against the grain. Found some space. Threaded the handball through to Cowan. Didn't look. Just sent it long with the kick. 2-on-2 to Koning. Good grab. So De Koning wants to wheel on his left boot. Send it to the top of the goal square. In front was Starskovic. Did it well. Now Andrews underground give towards Archie. And he'll take it out of bounds. 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Carlton have been trounced, but they can still get a couple of goals to finish it. So McInerney in the ruck up against De Koning. Came on early as the sub, trying to breathe some new life into them. Motlop trying to get it out of there. Andrews dodged round 1 and 2. The tumble punt outside the defensive 50 turned it over to Newman. On the right boot, hooks it back inside. Going there was Cripps, couldn't mark Fantasia. An opportunistic moment! He's got it there, Fantasia! Good finish, calls for the crowd to lift. Well, that's a good finish there from Orazio Fantasia. And Carlton, they've got the last 2 goals. At the very least, it's a good way to finish the first half for the Blues. So the statistic that was brought up about 2 minutes ago was no team has ever not scored in a first half of a final in AFL VFL history. Won't be long before they bring up the statistic of what's the biggest comeback in a final. I'll call it. Tap down from McInerney. Coming through was Neal. Left it behind. High free kick will go to Lachie Neal. He gives it off to Wilmot. He'll drive it long. Brisbane to quickly silence a couple of Carlton fans. Goes high. Goes long for Morris. Almost got sport out by his own man. Waiter tried to soccer it to... Try to get a fist onto it, and now Newman kept it in bounds. Brisbane not great with the pressure there. And maybe Carlton can go on the rebound here. McGovern takes the mark. So they're going to take a score review here. Goal umpire was right on it, but the score review is going to happen now. Oh, come on, goal umpire. You're right there, dude. You've got to see that. So it is a behind to Brisbane. So behind to Brisbane. 49 points. So, a minute 45 on the clock. Newman just goes in short to Sard. The one thing that Carlton have on their side is the fact that they have a lot of time. They still have a second half to work with. And Brisbane haven't put them away. So Newman goes along with the kick. High ball, Motlop's there, fisted down. Did well Kerno to slap it away from him. Good tackle from Bailey. In fact, it's Noah Ainsworth. He's been pretty good in this first half. Player down at the moment. It is a Carlton player. Not the greatest. Doctor sitting over the top of him. I can't see who it is at the moment, but... So Mark Pidnet's grabbing at his knee right now. Has not moved. They, of course, have already made their sub, the Blues. They made it for Tom de Koning, who came on. And Matt Kennedy came off. Pidnet, good sign as he's back up and he's walking off the ground. So maybe best case scenario, it's just a knock on. It looks like maybe it's just a contact injury, which would be the best case scenario for him. Tap down from de Koning. Hewitt did well. Carlton have lifted in the past few moments. Rayner, good tackle. Gets it out though. Doherty, short kick was nice. Hits up Sam Walsh. He feeds it through to Hewitt. Under pressure. Got rid of it though. Walsh feeds it through to de Koning. He sends it long. High ball. Blues having a couple of numbers. Here, Mackay! Well, hang on just a moment. Carlton have suddenly come out of the locker rooms. They haven't been there for the first 45, 50 minutes of this game, but all of a sudden, chance here for their third goal late in the second term. Great grab from Harry Mackay, been unsighted in this first half. Did really well there. So Harry Mackay kicked the winner up at the Gabriel opening round. This is bigger than that. And it's a little bit of OG Harry Mackay rearing its little head there. Bad miss. Had to kick that goal there, Harry Mackay. So now Berry sends it long down the wing. 1-on-2. Cowan took a good mark. Looks like a free kick's been ripped out here. It's going to go to Cam Rayner. So 9 seconds left in this first half. Brisbane have been absolutely brilliant. Sends it long. Young gets the spoil. Dunkley feeds it through. There's your halftime siren. Brisbane setting themselves up. You'd almost call this game done. Carlton have been smashed in the first half. Brisbane have been immense. And they lead it at halftime by a whopping 48 points. Brisbane 9-7-61. Lead the Blues 2-1-13. Alright guys, we'll be back in about about 15-20 minutes with the second half. And let's move into our tips for the first week of the finals. So we're going to do it a little bit differently this week. We're going to go through every single game and give our tips at the end of each game. So of course, Thursday night, massive game, second qualifying final, Port Adelaide v Geelong. So first thing we're going to go through is a couple of question marks of what's going to happen through this game and what the talking points of it be. So can the Cats stop Port Adelaide's midfield? I think that's a big talking point. In previous finals, Port Adelaide have failed to stay composed in front of goal. There's been a lot of composure problems for them. I think this game's going to be very much split in the midfield. And one that you brought up as well is... So those are the question marks coming into this game. Matchups that we're looking at. Dangerfield, probably the biggest lock that Port Adelaide have to do. Looks like Willem Drury. I feel like that's a pretty obvious one. Who goes to Jeremy Cameron? You're thinking Miles Bergman?
I think it has to be Bergman. I think the last month or so when Port have got back into form, he's played brilliantly down back.
You think at this point Leary has to play that swing at this point in the finals? I think that's how they're going to have to go. Zerk Thatcher probably takes the tall, which is Neil.
Yeah.
And then that means that Burton probably goes to Henry, I would say. So Burton's probably the other one. Who, if they take Cameron, it's either Bergman or Burton.
I think it has to be, Bergman.
And then the very interesting one, which happened back in the mid-season when they beat Geelong down in Geelong. McEntee going to Stewart.
Will that tagging role happen again? Because McEntee's been a little bit in and out of the side. He did come in throughout the last couple of weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
Jed McEntee. Do you think he takes the tagging role on Tom Stewart, or do you think they give it to someone else like a Francis Evans or something?
I think they have to 100% play McEntee on Stewart because it worked so well earlier in the year, and I think they have to do it again.
Yeah. I think that's definitely I think that's what they're going to do. Definitely put McEntee on him. The thing is, though, with McEntee, the reason why probably he got dropped at this point is he doesn't hit the scoreboard enough.
No.
And Rioli, in the last 4 or 5 weeks, has definitely done better. They need people to go with him, though. And I think that's where Port Adelaide, if they are going to go make a tilt and go all the way as well, they do need to get their small forwards to get goals. Yeah. And they need more help than just Rioli. Very interested to see what happens with their half-backs as well, because obviously Farrell's out and Houston. So, there's a lot of talk about Rosie going half-back.
I don't know if that will happen. He came out on Monday and said that he doesn't want, well, not that he doesn't want to do it, it's just that they don't think that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have the All-Australian and Darcy Byrne-Jones, he's pretty much guaranteed to go back now with those two out. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Jace Burgoyne does it. Goes from the wing back just to play off half-back and play that Wangani Malira role. Because he's a beautiful kick. He's a beautiful field kick. He's a horrible step shot. He's a beautiful field kick.
So, to the tip. I am tipping Port Adelaide. Basically on the fact that I think they've been the better team. They're the more informed team. I'm going with Port Adelaide because it's at Adelaide Oval as well. And I think the midfield battle where it's going to be won, Port Adelaide will win that. I think that the Cats rely way too much on Paddy Dangerfield. And I think going into the last 3 or 4 weeks for the Cats, I did kind of pick it when they lost to the Saints, that they were just running into a little bit of poor form. They got a couple of just wins against, I can't remember who it was before then, but it was Fremantle. And then they got the same...
North Melbourne.
North Melbourne, Fremantle. They got they got a close win against Fremantle, but they didn't really deserve to win that. Then they got beaten by St Kilda and they smashed West Coast. So I think their form doesn't read exactly 100% what they're doing at the moment. And right now, I think Willem Drew's the best matchup that anyone in the comp could have against Patrick Dangerfield at the moment. So I think they're going to be able to shut him down. That's kind of what I'm seeing for Port.
Yeah. I am going to go also Port Adelaide. I think, like you said, the home ground advantage will work for them. And that midfield battle, I just don't think that Geelong have the depth in the midfield to go with them. Like you said, I think it's really only Dangerfield. I don't think... Tanner Bruin's a bit of a test, obviously, because he's coming from out of concussion. I just think that if they were going to risk anyone, I'd probably risk it on Cam Guthrie, but they're not going to do it. And I just think, Duncan's too old. He hasn't played a lot of minutes this year in the midfield. Yeah. And, I just don't think they have the experience in there. And I think also, Jordan Sweet's played brilliantly the last 2 months. And Reece Stanley played one good game last week against West Coast. He's been in and out. I think he could dominate.
Yeah, Jordan Sweet. I think he's definitely been good the last 2 months. But moving on, what a game this is. Western Bulldogs v Hawthorn, MCG, Friday night. 90,000+ they are expecting. Can the Bulldogs come and spoil the party here, though? So, talking points throughout this game, which forward line's going to fire? Is it going to be the tools of the Bulldogs and Ugle-Hagan, Norton and Darcy, or is it going to be the young smalls of Hawthorn with the likes of Chol, Gunston and Deer? Who will be better with the contested play with the Bulldogs, or is it going to be the young, fast players of the Hawks? Will the big occasion get to the Hawthorn Football Club, and can the Hawks defence stand up? Now, on the matchups, you've kind of looked at the side of the ruck battle is going to be a big matchup, Tim English and Lloyd Meek. Big matchup as well, looking at the defence of Hawthorn up against the Bulldogs. I'm thinking Sam Frost probably goes to Norton, I'm thinking. Sicily probably goes to Jamara. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Do you think that's probably?
I think it's Darcy.
You think he goes to Darcy?
Yeah, I think with the he can use the strength of to body Darcy off the ball.
Okay, and then that leaves the question: who's the other one? So it's either going to be Weddle or it's going to be Scrimshaw that goes to the third tall. So if it is, I feel like it has to be Scrimshaw. I think the Weddle brings too much on the offense. Yeah, that I think Scrimshaw has to do it. So he probably goes to Jamara or Darcy. Probably Jamara. That's what we're thinking. So can the Hawks defence stand up? I think a big one as well, with Day out, Does Finn McGuinness keep his spot? Does he go and tag? You got Bontempelli, you got Liberatore, you've got Treloar. Or you got Ed Richards as well, who's played really well. Or you go with Dale off halfback. Big question marks. First of all, do you think that McGuinness goes and tags?
Yes, I think he has to.
And
I
who
think
does go
he
to?
will go to... I think he has to go to Bond. Go to the best player.
Yeah, try and cut
Yeah.
cut the head off the snake and
Yeah.
try and the body will wither. Yeah, okay. Do you think that obviously finals aren't really won off tall forwards, but the Bulldogs, you know, when they're at their best, and we've seen the best and the worst of them this year, if they bring their best, their tall forwards are going to do, you know, can do big things. It's supposed to be a pretty cold night on Friday night. Do you trust the key forwards of the Bulldogs to win them a final, or do you think they can live up to the? Do you think they can live up to it?
I think they will.
You think they can?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think the Hawthorn, and obviously another big question was the fact that Hawthorn, you know, they've got a lot of young players in their team. They're obviously very exciting. Obviously, you talk about its elimination final, so it's not as big as like a grand final, but it's still a big final. It's probably the biggest crowd they've probably ever played in front of. A lot of them. I think there's only like half a dozen that probably have played in front of more. Do they live up to it? Can they live up to that? I don't know. But I mean, I don't think there's much else to say about this game other than the tips. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs on the fact that I think there's going to be a little bit of... I do trust the more bulkier midfield of the Bulldogs. I think they're a little bit bulkier, a little bit more hardened. I think in a big final like this, the Hawks look great on offense, and I just trust Bulldogs' defense a little bit more. I never thought I'd say that, but I think that especially Liam Jones will be in as well. I think that their defense just stands up a little bit better, and I think the forwards of the Bulldogs, the tall ones, can stay strong. I do think it's very important final series really for the smalls of the Bulldogs as well. You got Riley West, Cody Waitman. They need to have good games as well. But I do think the Bulldogs. I think Sam Darcy this year has given them something different. I think that having that marking option down the line, like Darcy, you know, they've always relied too much on Norton's contested marking. Now that Darcy is there, I think you can take that to the bank. And I'm just going the Bulldogs. I think it's going to be a great game, a close one, but I think the Bulldogs will edge out. What do you think?
I'm going to go the Bulldogs as well, and I think it'll be the biggest... They will win by the biggest margin this week.
Oh, okay, so you're going the opposite.
I reckon it will be... I think it'll be a 5+ at least win. I think the stage fright for the finals for Hawthorn will hit them. And I think the bye has come at the worst time for it. Because I don't think it should even be a pre-finals bye.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to hurt the Hawks.
Yeah.
And I think also with the fact is that Will Day is out, I don't think they really have the class in the midfield. Like, they'll have the contested beasts in Newcomb and Nash, but I just don't think they'll have the class once that the ball leaves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. Yeah, I think at this point that... I mean, look, I'd love to see Hawthorn win. I'd love to see them play a really good game. And look, who knows? Maybe we'll be wrong. And, you know, I think this is...
Like most of the time that Hawthorn have played this year, second half of the year,
they can prove the doubters wrong, so maybe they'll do it again. Who knows? After that, we get to the Sydney Derby. Sydney versus the Giants, Saturday afternoon. Big game. Giants have a great record against the Swans in final 0 and 3. I think the questions of this game, can the Swan superstars stand up? We saw in the later parts of the year that the superstars really came to the fore when they needed to win. Obviously against Collingwood, it was Isaac Heaney, Chad Warner who dragged them over the line, and Chad Warner and Goulden and that were just doing it all over again. Can the Swans forwards really do enough here, the talls, to bring the ball to ground for their smalls? Because there's been times, especially through that really bad period where they weren't, and it was really costing them up forward. They couldn't kick enough goals. And can the Swans subdue Jesse Hogan? Because I think that's the big one. They do have other avenues to goals. Brent Daniels, Toby Green, such an important one. That'll be another question I got to in a second. But Jesse Hogan's obviously the big one. Coleman medalist. He's, you know, he has so many attributes to his game. Can the Swans stop him? But of course, also the Toby factor. He's had a pretty down year. Can he rise for finals? That's another one. Now, looking at the matchups, if Bedford plays, there's been a little bit of a question mark on him. I think he goes to Warner like he did in the last Sydney Derby. I think it's probably fair enough. I don't think he goes to a wing on Goulden, and Heaney's too big for him. I think he matches up with Tom Green. I think it's fair enough. Jordan, this is an interesting one because he went to Whitfield in both the Sydney derbies and did really well on him. But you brought up an interesting matchup. Who do you think he should go to?
I think he should go to for Brett Daniels.
Yeah.
I think he has to. And he missed the last game against the Giants when they lost a few other players before the game against the Bulldogs. But
well, I mean, I think a lot of them were rested.
yeah, I think they'll rest him. But I'm just saying that was a huge shift. They didn't win that game, but having them out of that team showed why they need to be in that Giants team.
Yeah.
And he's played a very underrated second half of the season, Brett Daniels, but he's starting to get his recognition late in the year.
Obviously signed a new contract too, a pretty big one. So it's definitely between the four walls of the Giants, they love him.
Yeah.
And I think he's very important. I just don't know if Jordan will want to run back with him.
Yeah.
So that's the big one. I think that...
Or you could put, like... Harry Cunningham's a bit too...
I feel like Cunningham...
I don't think you can afford Cunningham to roam up the field to the 450.
I actually think Cunningham will go to him. I think that's
I think he will.
Because I think that Rampy... He's obviously too small for Toby Green.
Yeah.
So I think Rampy goes to Toby Green. I think Carlton will go to Jesse Hogan.
Oh, yeah, I think that's bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Melican definitely can hold up. I mean, we saw in that final last year, he did really well up against Harry Mackay. So I think that he could go to Jesse Hogan at times.
Yeah,
but I think that's probably where it's going to be. They'll probably just settle on that, and I think it's a massive game for Brodie Grundy as well. He's definitely been down on form the last 5 or 6 weeks. He definitely has to get back to that form that he had at the start of the year. I think he definitely can. I think he definitely needed the rest.
I think to be honest, I think both ruckmen needed the rest.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great matchup in the ruck. But let's move to the tips. So I've gone Sydney. I think that they've won the last 2 Sydney derbies. They've done really well in them. I know there's a finals record. Sydney are 0-3. I think Sydney are going to stand up here. I think they've done so well throughout the season. I think the bye came at a good time for them. Yes, it did for the Giants, but I think that they, if it wasn't for that last loss, they were the hottest team in the comp. So if it wasn't for that, I think it comes really good time for Sydney. They all get a rest. They should get back Papley, Justin McInerney, McCartan and Heaney as well. So I think they're all great ins. But I think this is actually going to be set up for a bit of a sleeper final. I think this is going to be one of the better ones. I think it's going to be the best one of the weekend, actually. So I think it's going to be a super close one. Yay me. Yay for my heart. But I do think this is going to be a Swans win.
I'm actually going to go to the Giants.
You're going to be really upset.
Yeah.
This is probably the biggest upset.
I think the Giants will win. It will be another close one, because it always seems to be when the Giants win against the Swans. I just don't trust the 3-pronged forward line for the Swans. I just don't trust it. And Papley coming back in will help them, but I just don't think that he's been out for so long. Will he be able to turn it on straight away? If the Swans are going to win it, he needs to. But I just don't think that with such a solid defence of the Giants with Buckley and Taylor and Iden, I don't think the Swans will be able to kick a winning score.
Okay. That's probably a big call. I don't think many people will be picking the Giants, but I honestly think, I know you said, I think any of these finals could go either way.
Yes,
yeah. So I think that's definitely could go either way. Even though I know you said the Bulldogs you think will win probably the biggest of the weekend. I could definitely see a world where Hawthorn win it. Yeah. So then to the final game of the finals weekend, Saturday night, Brisbane against Carlton. Up in Brisbane, it's going to be a pretty warm night. They're saying, I think, 25 plus, the temperature can be at times. Carlton fell into the finals, but what a bunch of players they got coming back. Obviously, Sam Doherty, we talked earlier in the episode, is going to be back. Got a bunch of other ones.
Sam Doherty, sorry. I thought you meant Tom DeConing.
Did I say Sam Doherty?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Tom DeConing could be back. Obviously got Curnow and Mackay most likely should be back. A couple of others as well. Questions talking about this game though. If the Lions do stop Cripps, I think they win. I think it's a pretty simple one. Can Carlton look like a new team? They're basically bringing back a quarter of a squad this week. Yeah. So can they get to that sort of form though that they had 6-7 weeks ago? Can the Lions get their kicking boots on? They've had problems in finals as well with kicking a goal.
Yeah.
But obviously the last 3 or 4 weeks, they lost 2 games basically off their goal kicking. So can they get that fixed? And can Carlton find a way to stop the Lions getting forward? Because that is one thing that the Lions will do. And if they do get it forward enough, you'd think they'd kick a winning score. Now, on the matchups, Berry, I feel like, goes to Patrick Cripps. I think that's probably the best matchup for him. Maybe Josh Dunkley would probably be the other one, but I think that Berry probably goes to him. And does Chin Cotter go and tag Lachie Neale?
To be honest, I think it has to be Hewitt.
You think it's George Hewitt?
I think it's Hewitt. I think Chin Cotter's just had a very... when he first came to tagger, he's brilliant at it. But I think he's been found out pretty quickly about it. And George Hewitt's been the tagger for Greenwich his whole career.
Yeah.
I think he has to take the role in finals and go to him.
Yeah, okay. He has been a pretty good player for them the last couple of weeks, George Hewitt, though.
Yeah.
That is one thing. He's been a good clearance player. But does he take the job on Lachie Neale? Because I think that is a big point as well, that when teams have done well against Brisbane, most of the time it's been shut down Lachie Neale. That's usually the way to go about it. So I think that's one point that we need to go to. So let's get to our tips. I'm picking Brisbane, and I'm picking this for the big win of the weekend. No, I don't think it's going to be a massive win. I think it'll be 5 goals. I kind of feel like Carlton are the team that have fallen in, and I don't think they can turn around what's been done in the past 4 or 5 weeks. Now, look, Carlton could, make a miraculous recovery here and, get to the next week of the finals. But I just think Brisbane, I think they're a bit of a sleeper team into this final series. I think that if it wasn't for those 2 losses, which they potentially could have won if they kicked straight, I think they're a bit of a sleeper. And I actually think they can go, I know this may be a big call, I think they can go all the way from outside the top 4. Now, look, again, I could miss this round one of the finals. Carlton could go and just kiss my dreams goodbye. Not my dreams, my tipping, read from out of here. They can just kiss this goodbye. But I actually think Brisbane are primed at the moment. I think the Dane Zorko All-Australian year, I think it's very important for them. They just need to lower their eyes a little bit when going forward, stop blazing away, so they can have more better shots at goal. That's my kind of look on Brisbane right now, but I'm tipping them, and I think that they're a bit of a smoky for going all the way from here. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm going to go Brisbane. I think, at the start of the year, they were horrible.
Alrighty, guys, we're back with the second half. Carlton did kick the final 2 goals of it to give themselves a sneaky chance of potentially getting themselves back into this game, but the first half was all about Carlton, all about Brisbane. They were insanely good. And if Carlton are going to somehow steal this game, it's going to have to be an almighty comeback. Carlton were utterly embarrassed in that first half. This game is basically a free hit for them. They weren't really supposed to be here, but they fired no shots in that first half. All to play for, of course. Winner goes on to play GWS in a knockout final next week. The loser, of course, is out. So Jack Payne has been subbed out of this game through injury. It was that knee that he did in the second terms. That's really unfortunate there for him. Hopefully it's okay. It is an MCL. But that means Connor McKenna has been put into the game. So second half underway. All to play for. 48 points. DeConing wins the first tap. McInerney fighting hard along with McCluggage. He gets the first clearance towards half forward. Great mark going back with the flight. Kalachi. Brisbane looking to just continue on. You go for Brisbane your whole life? That's good to see. Doing pretty well at the moment. Great mark there from Kalachi going back with the flight. Bit of an unsung hero for the Brisbane Lions. Brings a lot for their forward line this year. So Kalachi from outside 50 goes long. He's hooked it to the left. Pretty good hit on it though, but just threw for a behind. It's the first score of the second half going Brisbane's way. So McGovern will take the kick in here. Carlton basically just have to go at this point. Might as well lose it by a little bit more than just continue to play they were in the first half. Turns this one straight back over to Ryan Lester. Zorko just running circles around Lester trying to get a handball receive. He's not going to get it. Just goes short to Wilmot. He ducked around Hollands. Sends a high ball up inside the forward 50. McGovern read it well. And he went immediately. The kick outside the defensive 50 was nice to Hewitt. So just slows it up a little. He's got Tom DeConing on a little lead. He's going to go longer than that towards Kemp. That's a good mark. Hot on him there was Ryan Leslie. Took a good mark there, Kemp. But again, this is where they've been stagnant all night, Carlton, when they've had possession. He goes inside with the kick to Chera. That was nice. Chera just going to hold it up. Goes long inside the forward 50. Mackay can't get in front. Harris Andrews did well. Wilmot clears. Towards that wing. Touched off the boot. Williams did well. Heard at the umpire's call. Chera. Great pressure from Lohman. Shoves him over the boundary line and gives away a free kick. So free kick's going to Carlton here. Kyle Lohman gives away a free kick from the back. So now Chera sends it long. Inside the forward 50 again. Koning is there. Great row from Fantasia. Got a nice goal in the first half. And this one goes through for a behind. Oh no, it's hit the point post. So, umpire's call is a out of bounds, hit the behind post on the inside of it. So, it looks like they're going to go score a review. And it has... Oh, well, that's fucking... it's out of bounds. Yeah, it's definitely come off the post. So there's going to be a boundary throw in here. Left forward pocket here for the Blues. Can they get the first goal of the second half? Looking for Fantasia here. Cripps running through the stoppage. Even Motlop. De Koning takes it out of the ruck. Handball. Turned it over to Dunkley. He'll clear. Towards the defensive 50 line. Rayner. A little bit of a push in the back. Play on. Doherty. Hasn't had a lot of impact so far. Little kick was nice to De Koning. He's had a bit of an impact since coming on, Tom De Koning. So he takes that directly on the 50-metre line. He's not too confident on the shot. He's going to set it up, it looks like. Top of the goal square. Looking for Mackay. Almost dragged it down. Fantasia missed the handball. Starskovic clears. Wide ball. Hipwood bodies up Young. Good mark from Young in the end. He's got an option on 50. Decided not to go to Hollands. Young's probably going to set this one up. That's where he goes. Low dart inside the forward 50. Nice mark going back was Hewitt. That's a great kick there from Young. Just kicked it off the line. George Hewitt going back with the flight. Just kicked it into the space there. Made Hewitt lead for it. Nice kick there from Lewis Young. Didn't know he had that in his arsenal. So George Hewitt. Been such an important player for them this year. Been out of the team at times. He goes long. Didn't get a great connection onto it, but he gets enough! Carlton, first goal, second half. So good finish there from George Hewitt. The Blues have the last 3 goals of this game. So Carlton were able to get back from this margin in the opening round fixture between the Lions. Can they keep it going here? They've got the last 3 goals of this game. Great finish there from George Hewitt as well. Don't think there was a solid connection onto it, but it was enough to get it home. And Carlton have a little bit of a belief. So back in the ruck we go. McInerney taps it down. Neal got a boot onto it. De Koning. And now the Blues will get the clearance once again. Hewitt, he's got a couple of handball options. He's going to send it long. Inside the forward 50, 1-on-1. Good mark going back. It was Connor McKenna. Hewitt probably had to hand it off to Walsh there running shotgun. Wasn't the greatest option. McKenna just missed the kick. Now to Berry. McGovern. Low worm burner inside the forward 50. Durden wrapped up his opponent. Gets the ball out of there. Zorko. Got it out, but almost threw it away. Doherty inside to Walsh. Now Hollands, smothered well by Dunkley. Ricochets back to Hollands. Handball it back inside to Hewitt. He's been important. Dab kick inside the forward 50. Hollands couldn't mark. Motlop, great rove. Couldn't get the kick away though. Brisbane, great tackle from Hollands. Cripps fighting hard. Handballed it through. Who can get a clean possession? Kemp tried to get onto it. Let it go. Umpire circle. Zorko clears. And he goes towards the boundary line. Stays in bounds. Lohman taken over. Great work there from Brisbane on the scrambling defence. They know they've got a bit of a challenge coming up from the Blues now. Throws it back into play to Conan, tapped it straight to Walsh. He ducks back inside. Feign to give. Gives it back inside now to Elijah Hollands. Came from the Gold Coast. These were his rivals. Now he kicks a big goal. Good finish. Blues 4 in a row. Good finish there from Elijah Hollands. His first final. Great finish on the left boot. Well, right now, give them a bit of a chance here. They've kicked the last 4 goals. Brisbane didn't put them away. And Carlton finally getting some run into their game at the moment. Back in the ruck, McInerney slapped it down. Neal socketed it forward. Archie, good pick up. Tackled immediately. Ashcroft couldn't get it out. Newman did well. Too hot for Hollands. He ducks back inside. The handball over the shoulder was nice. Akers, inside give to Newman. He'll get back onto his left boot. Duck back on, did nicely. He sends it long. The helicopter ball for Mackay! Well, it's 37 points to the margin, but it feels like 7. Carlton have lifted. So Harry Mackay had a huge opportunity before half-time to get a goal. He missed really badly from about 30 out. This is a little bit further out for him though. This is about 45, this kick. But Carlton have been brilliant. So Harry Mackay missed a crucial one before half-time. Now he kicks the goal! Carlton are back! Where has this come from? They were 60-0 Brisbane. Carlton have kicked the last 5 goals. 31 points the difference now. Brisbane just have to be a little bit cautious here. There's nothing too worrying about. They're still up by 31 points. They don't need to go into their shell fully. They just have to be careful. Just have to start playing the footy a bit more here and bring back a bit of that pressure that they brought in the first 55 minutes of this game. De Koning got the handball out of there. Akers fighting hard for it. Neal needs to stand up in front. Did well. Will's back with the kick inside. Missed McInerney, but it spills out now to Archie. Handball forward. Bailey goes to ground. Williams at the back to Young. Dribbling ball towards the pocket. The back flank here for Akers. He gathered it in nicely. Short kick. And Carlton can settle. So George Hewitt has it. So now George Hewitt. High up and under ball down the wing. Who's going to get there first? Mackay couldn't get hands to it. Spills out now. Akers tried to keep it in bounds, but it runs out. $31 points the margin. Carlton have really lifted. But it's still over 5 goals. So Brisbane don't have to have too much of a concern just yet, but they have to get back into this game. Akers slams it forward towards the 50 on the bounce. They'll get another stoppage. 10 inside 50s to 3 in this third quarter in Carlton's favour. They got in the territory battle now. Pidnet takes the front spot. Tap down to Neely. Just got a handball away. Back to Bailey. He'll clear. Long ball, one-on-one. Cowan with Cameron. It gets out the back. Cameron running after it. Tapped it forward. He heard the voice of Morris. But he tapped it a good 20 metres there, Cameron. And the umpire calls for a ball in. So about 55-60 out here from Brisbane's goal. So back in the ruck. McInerney takes the front spot, takes it out of the ruck, turned over the handball. Great tackle from Ashcroft! He's built for finals, Will Ashcroft. Great tackle. Akers dropped the footy. Got to remember, this guy wasn't a part of finals last year for the Lions. Missed the second half of the year. He was so important to their first half. Ashcroft's going to set it up. High ball. Who can get to that one? Danaher was pushed out of it. But Young gets the mark. Lewis Young had a pretty good game so far, I'm going to say. Short little kick to Newman. And now Newman's going to go. Short little kick to Hollins. He's going to wheel back inside with the kick. It's a dangerous option. Turned it over to Andrews. Short little kick. Hits up Bailey. Good little 20-metre kick in front of him to Ashcroft. He can break 45. Long kick, top of the goal square. Morris! Just when the Blues were about to make their charge, the young Logan Morris gets up, takes a good grab. Haven't kicked the goal in half an hour, the Brisbane Lions. At one point, they led by 60 points and had the only 60 points on the board. This one, just a bit of a settler. Oh, Morris! Top of the goal square from 15 out, has kicked it into the post. Just when you thought Brisbane were about to get a nerve settler, they blow a crucial chance. Motlop at centre half back. Goes long, wide kick. Neither defender could get there. It gets out the back. Fletcher will get there first. Handball over the top was nice to McCluggage. Now McKenna. Doesn't have a lot of options. He just looks forward in hope. He goes long to Wiedering. Should get the free kick there, Jacob Wiedering. He won't though. Rayner can send it inside the forward 50. Out the back, they have the numbers. Lohman found himself all on his own. And now Bailey, oh, they've messed up another one, the Lions. What is happening at the Gabba? How did Zach Bailey mess that one up? The Brisbane Lions have just missed two absolute sitters. Oh my God. So now Akers goes long. Leicester fists it forward. Hipwood slapped it back inside to Wilmot. Going in another was Cowan. Spills out now to Leicester. Almost in the back. Umpire says it's okay. And just outside the forward 50 now from the Lions goal. The stoppage is called. Pidnet gave it out. Did well to Cripps. Over the top to Walsh. Batman and Robin combine. Over the top to Motlop. Dragged down by Leicester. Should be rewarded. Play on. Walsh socketed off the ground. Starskovich fumbled. Fought back and got it. Did well. Starskovich across his body with the kick. Cut off by Pidnet. Couldn't mark. Ricochets now to Ashcroft, who'll break away. Looking for the 1-2. Rayner ducks back inside instead. Looks away. It now goes long, inside the forward 50, Wiedering fighting hard, couldn't mark Bailey, duck plus 1 and 2, handball through to Hipwood, they surely can't mess this one up, Archie slams it home. Well, they finally score the Lions, they gave up two absolute sodas they missed, but they finally get one back. Well, back to 39 points. Feels a lot closer, but that was a good finish there from the Lions. They worked it through hands. They did it well. Did that really well there, Zach Bailey. And Kalachi reaps the spoils. So 39 points to the margin. 9.5 left in this third term. Danaher couldn't get the tap away. Hewitt fed it through to Cripps. They're still lifting here, the Blues. Short little kick was well done. Well done to Kemp. And he can go back and get the quick reply. Great work there from Patrick Cripps. So Brody Kemp comes in. He's been important the last couple of weeks up forward. He's left it out to the right. It's coming back, but not enough. Long kick from Zorko. Bailey goes up, takes the mark. Lands like a cat and off he goes. Long kick. They got the numbers here, the Lions. Cameron takes the mark. Young. Oh, he's running everywhere. He should have been rewarded against 50. We're not going to be paid. Cameron sends it long. Rayner got pushed underneath it. Cowan, good mark. Crucial chance wasted there from Brisbane. Switches it now to Walsh, who goes over the top. Nice kick to Akers. Still just over 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. Don't have to rush it too much here, Carlton. They've got so much time left in this game. And Brisbane aren't the greatest finishers. So Carlton have it true centre wing with De Koning. He goes long towards a 3-on-1. Brisbane had the numbers, but landed on the ground. Durden dropped it at the crucial stage. Zorko coming through, let it go. Ball up and half forward here for the Blues. Carlton have really lifted in this third quarter. 1 goal to 5. Well, they've kicked 5 in a row. Carlton before Brisbane got the last one. Spills out the back, McInerney. Gave it up nicely to Morris. He tried to get the kick forward. It was smothered. Williams tapped it forward, spiked it down. Almost like a volleyballer. Wiedering fed it through now to Akers. He went to go long with the kick, looking for the 1-2. The link up. Good pressure there from the Lions. Akers got the kick going forward though. Bouncing ball. Hollands kept it in. Zorko went to tackle. Just let go at the crucial stage. Starskovic, long kick. Good kick. Lohman. He wants to go. Inside kick to McCluggage, about to get shut down. Got a handball over the top nicely to Hipwood. He works it nicely to Joe Danaher from 45. He can go and shut the moment, and he missed it. Guys, my dogs are going off. Oh, buddy dogs. No change in the scoreboard. Nothing really happened anyway. Carlton now have it through Zach Williams from the wing. He drives it inside the forward 50. Mackay got a hand to it. Brought it to ground to Koning. Couldn't get there. McInerney sitting on top of it. Now Motlop wrapped up by Andrews. Ball up. Still 5. It's just under 6 minutes in this third quarter. To Koning trying to get a tap down. McInerney goes to clear it. Bouncing ball towards the wing. Williams should track this one down with Hipwood. Did well there, Eric Hipwood. Pushed him out of the way. Great smother coming across from Wiedering. Akers can gather. He goes long with the kick. Inside option. McInerney couldn't mark. Cripps. He's got to get into his move. Handball at the back. Walsh. Short little kick into the pocket on the bounce to Mackay. Handball was too hot for Hollands. Turned it over again. Brisbane are standing up in the crucial moments. Great tackle from Walsh. Archie looked away. Walsh dragged him down. Carlton continue to rise. He won the finals, the best finals player last year, the Gary Ayres medal. He was brilliant. He goes long into the pocket. Neither could get there. Durden takes it over. Locked up in the pocket now for Carlton. They're too far away, I believe, to win the game from here if it gets to three-quarter time at 39 points. They have to get closer here, Carlton. Tap down. Rolls out towards Cripps. Can he track it down before the boundary line? He can. Fed it back to Akers, who just jammed it on the boot. Top of the goal square. Mackay flew through, couldn't mark. Wilmot with the clearing ball off the ground. Sard gathered. Snapped it across his body. In the pocket, couldn't mark. There was Durden. Doherty locked it up. Ashcroft did well. Starskovich. McKenna clears. Wide ball. Option there is Cameron. Gets out of bounds. Did well there, McKenna. Umpire throws it back into play. De Koning tried to take it out of the ruck, left it behind. Now Bailey can go for the clearing ball from the stoppage. Good cut-off mark there from Newman. He wanted to go corridor, didn't have an option though. They just may have to go long once again. Hasn't really worked for them tonight though for the Blues. Only a couple of times, so he just goes short to McGovern. He's got Doherty in short, that's where he goes. So Doherty, he'll want to go long with this one. Just sends it high. Hoping for De Koning or Mackay. Dragged down, couldn't mark. Fighting for it on the turf there was Zorko. And it's a ball up inside the forward 50 for the Blues. They have to simply get at least one more goal before three-quarter time. Maybe two. They've had 16 inside 50s in this third quarter. They've kicked 3 goals. That's good enough, but needs to be better. De Koning with the slap down. Neil. Underground handball was nice. They work it through hands now to Bailey. Short little lead-up kick. Wasn't the greatest. Got out the back. Hipwood looking for a free kick. Not going to get it. Danaher went to ground. Slapped out the back from Newman. Too far. So 3 minutes 38 seconds in this third term. Tap down from De Koning. Spills out towards Chera. Try to soccer it off the ground and it rolls out of bounds. Ricocheted off of Dunkley's boot. So Carlton have kicked 5 goals in a row. Brisbane responded with the last one. It's 39 points right now. Just feels like Carlton are way too far away to bring this margin back, I feel. They have to get the next goal. They have to get it in this quarter as well. Couldn't take it out of the ruck. Spills to Doherty. Did well to give it up to Cripps. Ducked one way. Looking for the 1-2. Chera does well. They work it nicely. Fend off. Great tackle from Lockie Neal. McCluggage looking for Bailey. Wrapped up by Hewitt. Got it out of there somehow. Dunkley inside to Ashcroft. Gave it up to McCluggage. They somehow work it out here, the Lions. Long handball over the top to Morris. Got an option in the pocket. And it's Big Joe. Right forward pocket. This is perfect for around the body left foot. Kick on goal here for Joe. Well, if they kick this, for all of Carlton's effort, they've only fought back 3 points if he kicks this goal here, Joe Danaher. So Joe Danaher around the body. He's hooked it way too much. Brisbane just keeping that door ajar. They've done it a few times in the last month or so at the end of the season. They wouldn't want to do it tonight. Brisbane kicked 1 goal, 5 in this third quarter. They've left a lot out there, the Lions. Newman, wide kick. Good kick to Hollins. 2.5 minutes still left in this third term. Akers has it. He wants to give off to Hollins. They just have to go now, the Blues. Hollins fends one tackle. Missed the handball, though, to Newman, who wraps up Ainsworth well. Ball up. Tap down from Pidnet did well. Walsh handball it over the top. It was really nice work to Walsh. He'll kick it towards half forward. Down low. Good mark from Mackay. Umpire didn't pay the mark. And now it's a Brisbane free kick off the ball. That's a mark too. That was a mark to Mackay and then compounded even worse for the Blues because Jared Berry's got the free kick. So now Berry's just going to drive it long. Looking for an option. 2-on-2. Hipwood couldn't mark out the back. Wiedering had to go. Did really well. Broke away from McInerney. Short little kick over the top on the bounce. Did well to gather it. There was Hewitt. They work it through hands. Akers, Walsh, and now to Hewitt again. Try to step inside. Did well to Cowan. He'll want to go long with the kick. Inside the forward 50 on the lead. Good spoil from Leicester. Had to get there. Did it well. And dives over the boundary line like a try. Did that brilliantly there, Ryan Leicester. Looked like a mark incoming there for Tom Nakoni. Didn't get the hands out though, which gave the opportunity for Leicester to get a fist on it. Pidnet slapped it forward with this good 30 metres. This will run out of bounds. This will work here for the Blues. Minute 15, 16 on the clock. If Carlton can get the late one here. So Cripps just pushed over Jared Berry. Weird decision, but that's the free kick that happened before. Tap down from McInerney. Bailey got the handball out. Wilmot just got boots of ball. It spills out now to Hollins. Looking for a handball option. Gave it to his brother who dropped it. Brisbane, great pressure. And now Cameron can make them pay on the counter. He takes a bounce. He takes a second. Handball inside the 1-2. Off goes Charlie. Revving around the Gabba from 55. Goes long. And Wiedering cuts it off. Didn't get enough on it there, Charlie. He just goes in short and maybe, just maybe, Carlton are happy with a 40-point deficit. Can they get back from that? It's such a huge margin. Brisbane haven't exactly put them away. Long kick towards the Koning. He's been good since coming on. Maybe he should have started. Who knows? So the Koning goes wide. Good option in the end to Fantasia. Can they get one late? Over the top to Hewitt. He can go long with the kick. Into the pocket. For Mackay. He gathered it well. Missed the kick though. He's had a dreadful night, Mackay. Has kicked the goal, but other than that, hasn't done much else. Wasn't a good kick from Hewitt, but still, had to do a lot better with that kick there, Mackay. So it looks like three-quarter time siren's about to sound. Blues don't have enough time here unless there's a free kick out of this stoppage. Umpire throws it back in. Siren sounds. Three-quarter time. Brisbane had a little bit of fight against them in that third quarter, but they still sit comfortable leaders by 40 points. At three-quarter time, the Lions lead 10-12-72 to the Blues 5-2-32. All right, we're back in a sec, guys. Just going to go to the bathroom. Oh, good. Over there, thank you. Come on, Max. Oh, he comes back in time. Go me. W streaming moment. Ugh. So Carlton have somewhat of a hope, but they're going to have to be perfect in this last term to steal it. $40 points the margin going into the final term. But it's not insurmountable just yet. Here we go. Taken out of the ruck there from McInerney. Handball forward. Cowan tracking it. Did well. Got wrapped up there by Cameron. Is it high? Nothing doing from the umpire. Tap down from DeConing. Cowan wrapped up twice. And another ball up. So now tap down there from McInerney. Couldn't take it out of there. Ashcroft wrapped up. Hewitt did well. Now Williams. Long handballs. Finding Elijah Hollins who can gather. Takes a bounce. He did pretty well. Sends it long to the one-on-one from Mackay. Starskovic went to ground. Free kick ripped out. Going to Brisbane. So Starskovic will get the free kick. Been matched up a few times tonight on Harry Mackay. He's done really well. Usually known as a defender on the smalls, but he's done pretty well tonight, Starskovic at times. Long kick spoiled by Wiedering to the front. Williams is there. McCluggage. Spills now. Neal and Zorko. Inside kick was brilliant there from Dane Zorko. On a dime to Rayner. Gives it off. Dunkley, short little ball. Hits up Hipwood. He's got a long option out the back. It's Lohman. It's got to get there, but he's put too much on it and out on the fall. So a free kick here to Lewis Young. So now Young. Came a bit off the outstep. High ball. Pidnet, good mark. Gives it off to Walsh and now Hewitt. They want to go. It's run and gun stuff here for the Blues. No tomorrow. He wants to give it to Doherty. Corralled him well there, Danaher. Hewitt, short kick, and Doherty couldn't mark it down low. Wasn't a great kick, and Leicester wraps him up. Great work there from Brisbane. Pressured it up nicely. Leicester's been really good tonight. Thrown up, Pidnet taps it straight down to Cripps. Doherty on the left boot. Down the wing, good 40 metres. Did well, but Zorko can gather. He wants to go inside. Very nice kick. Hits up Leicester. Short ball to Will Ashcroft. Doesn't have a lot of options. Doesn't have to take too many risks, of course. He'll just send it long. High ball. Who's going to get there? McInerney in front, brought it down nicely for Lohman. Over the top to Zach Bailey. Usually a good finisher, and he's missed. Brisbane simply won't put Carlton away at the moment. Missed a couple of opportunities tonight. Zach Bailey, 1 goal, 1, and that one that he missed on top of the goal square, basically. On the line, he missed it. So Sard running around, doesn't really know what he wants to do with it. Trying to get some run game going. McGovern over the top to Williams. He ducked back well. There's Zach Williams. He was born off the half-back line. Turned it over almost. Hollands back towards Williams. They're just messing around with it at the moment, but it's actually going to work for the Blues. Hollands sends it long inside the forward 50. Mackay! He's been pretty well quiet all night. He kicked 1 goal in that third term. But an opportunity now for Harry Mackay. Just had enough on it over the top of Andrews. Landed in the lap of Harry Mackay. If they get this one here, the Blues, it'll just start to put a few doubts in the Brisbane minds. In finals, you don't have to be the best player on the ground. You just have to take your moment! Mackay gets the goal. And the Blues are still alive in 2024. $35 points the margin. Good finish there from Harry Mackay. He snuck it inside that left goalpost. That right goalpost. And did it well. There was really no method in this movement here from Carlton off half-back. It was just a bit of chaos, but it worked. McInerney tried to take it out of the ruck. Little slocker off the ground from Cripps was nice. It's at the back, in fact. Chera did well to Walsh. He'll send it across the wing. Have a number out here, the Blues. It's Akers. He can track it down and off he goes. Takes the bounce. Won't bounce up for him. Hasn't really been his night. And Akers just takes it over. So the umpire will throw it back into play. They were away there, the Blues again, but they just waste a chance. Back in the ruck we go. Tap down. Ashcroft couldn't grab it cleanly. Chera threw it out, but it wasn't called by the umpire. Now Walsh sends it long. 2-on-2. Mackay is there, so is Andrews. Brought it to ground. Motlop ever dangerous. Sockers it off the ground. Across the face. Down the middle they go with the Lions. Dangerous looking kick, and Sard cuts it off. One of the inclusions tonight, 1 of 6. So now Sard goes towards that right forward pocket. Motlop in front, Bailey brought it to ground. Dunkley out the back to Zorko. The check side kick. Outside the defensive 50 is going to work to Neal. He went looking long, but realised there was no one in front of him. Takes a little tap on the ground with the footy. Gives it off to Hipwood. Still not really much down the line. Hipwood goes low and finds Danaher. Great kick. So Danaher just holds it up. Short little kick over the top. Hipwood again. Off to Cameron. Brisbane can shut this game down right here and now. Cameron finds Rayner! So Cam Rayner, you'd think this would end the game. He started this whole thing. He kicked the first goal of the game. They haven't put Carlton to bed just yet. But Cam Rayner can finish their season. He comes in and he's missed. Brisbane are being too kind. They need to shut this game down now. So now McGovern goes along with the kick. Leicester did well. Couldn't grab it though. Wilmot gave it off. Leicester. Now Neal. Dodge past Walsh nicely. Duck back. Long kick inside the forward 50 for Lohman. It gets out the back. McGovern is there. He's a bit under pressure. Newman, little slap down to Cowan high. So Lockie Cowan will get the free kick. Fletcher actually kicked the goal from that play, but he'll get the free kick here. Lockie Cowan. Got a big knee in the back there from Lohman, and then one across his ribs there from Rayner there. Lewis Young, a bit unfortunate for him. Newman goes long down the wing. In front, couldn't mark was Wilmot. Fighting for it. Carlton have the numbers here. Hollands back to Doherty. He looks inside. It's a dangerous kick to Koning. Had to mark it and drop the sitter. Now McInerney. Little kick was nice. Great mark from Newman going back. They're standing up in a few moments here, the Blues. They're giving themselves some sort of hope. Cowan. They work it through the middle of the ground. Off they go. Walsh. Longish handball. Hollands to Cripps. He can get it inside the forward 50. He goes for Akers. He takes the mark. So Blake Akers is going to go back and get them back to within under 5 goals. This will be the first time this has happened since the first quarter. So now Akers comes in. Kicks towards goal. He's got it there, Blake Akers! Can the Blues do it? Do the impossible. It'd be fitting for this season. But they've got a long way to go. 29 points. The first time since the first quarter the Blues have been this close. Oh, fuck yeah. Great work there from Walsh from the clearance. Handballing forward. Did well there, Fantasia, but then Zorko with the intercept. He gets it working forward on the bounce for Cameron. Handball to the toes of Hipwood. It was a good pickup. Now to Morris. Portrays a couple of options and then kicks it high. Who's going to get there first? Archie goes up. Couldn't mark Lohman. Try to get it off. Williams backed it away. And now Morris tracked down. Well, Mitch McGovern got him. Well, Carlton, they're still coming. Young goes long to the one-on-one. In front was Berry, couldn't mark. McKenna out the back to Andrews. Handballed it forward on the bounce. Zorko is there. So is McCluggage. Has a couple of options. Low kick, smart kick. So now it's the young Kai Lohman. All they need, Brisbane, is one goal. That would finish this game. McCluggage, brilliant play from him. Ooh. Cameron is very lucky. He was just a couple of jumper punches, but he did connect with the nose of Newman. Luckily, Newman didn't fake an injury there. So Kai Lohman, he's become the Brisbane Energizer in 2024. This to get them through the next round, and he's missed. He's missed everything. It's not even going to make the distance. Young got a fist towards it, and now Motlop off he goes. Gets it outside the defensive 50, but it's going to be coming back. Starskovic goes short, finds McCluggage. Right on 50, Hugh McCluggage takes the grab. Well, this is one of the seniors of this team. Hugh McCluggage, Chris Fagan. He knows this isn't done just yet, but he'd want his senior player, Hugh McCluggage, to finish the job. He's a long way out. He's going to have to kick this from outside 50. He runs a long arc. He sends it long. It's not going to get there. He's kicked it on the full. Brisbane are keeping the Blues season alive. Young gives it off to Akers. He's going to send it long. Interchange side to the one-on-one with Cripps and Starskovic. Starskovic got a fist onto it. Runs out towards the wing. Motlop gathered it well. Newman. Underground give to Walsh. He wants to run it around the boundary line. That's deliberate. So Zach Bailey will take the free kick. 10 minutes, 54 seconds to go. Bailey goes long. High ball, Lohman's there. So is McInerney. He's claimed it. Carlton fans aren't impressed on that outer wing. Let's have a look at it again. In front. Lohman had a few hands onto it, but they usually pay that. So McInerney claims the mark. He's taken it. None of his teammates have been able to end Carlton's season. Can Oscar McInerney do the job? The Big O comes in, kicks it low, hasn't made the distance, and Kyle Lohman in the pocket! Carlton weren't paying attention, and now Kyle Lohman, surely. It fell into his lap, very similar to Carlton falling into the finals. And Kyle Lohman, this would end the Carlton season. He comes in, and he's got it home. Brisbane, you would think now, would move on. They finally get their first goal of the last quarter. It's back to 35 points. I don't think McInerney was trying to get that kick to Kyle Lohman, but if he did, that is the smartest kick in footy. Through there, Fletcher gives it through now to Ashcroft. Wide kick. Neil, and now Lohman, the goal kicker. He goes across his body with the kick, going back. Good mark there from Archie. May have been now that Carlton know their season is done. Inside kick finds Ashcroft. Ashcroft sends it into the pocket. Numbers are there! And it's Cam Rayner. And Nick Newman getting frustrated, as all the Blues players would be. But they simply didn't show up in the important moments. And Cam Rayner now, with a little bit of pressure off him, can go back and kick another. So Cam Rayner comes in to push it over 40 points once again. And the Lions are charging into next week. Good finish there from Rayner. Well, this is kind of where they should be leading by. 40-odd points. They have dominated tonight, Brisbane. Carlton gave themselves a bit of a chance, but it's all come to nothing. Pidnett slaps it forward for Chera. He tries to track it down, socket it off the ground, bouncing ball inside the forward 50. Good gather from Kemp, up towards Doherty. This would be fitting. Sam Doherty, great finish. Great to see him back. So a good finish there from Sam Doherty. Such a leader of this team. That was a great goal as well. Hasn't really been a big night for him, but it's been a great night for him as well. So 35 points. Back in the ruck we go. McInerney with the slap down. Hewitt. He'll get the clearance here. No, he gives it off to Chera looking for the 1-2. Hewitt now. Inside the forward 50. On the lead. Starskovic could spoil. Lands in front of Fantasia. Couldn't grab it cleanly. Hollands did well with the fend off. High on Berry. Should have been rewarded, but he'll get a free kick anyway for holding the footy. So Jared Berry gets the free kick. Short kick to Zorko. Been well held in this second half by Ollie Hollands, but Zorko's been brilliant. He set this up. Low kick down the wing to Dunkley. He's been good up against Cripps. He's let him go a bit in this second half, but he has been brilliant. Signed a new extension in the week. Low kick down the wing to Rayner. So Rayner runs off. Kicks it long. Inside the forward 50. Up goes Morris! Oh, they're just playing with him now, the Lions. Well, he missed one from 10 metres out straight in front. You don't... I mean, at the moment, the pressure's off. Maybe you'll finish this, Logan Morris, but that's a great grab. Bit of feeling in this one. Rayner and Newman pushing around. Newman not really impressed with with a bit of treatment from the couple of Brisbane players, but Logan Morris will come in now. Send it back out to 40 points. Morris comes in, holds that right goal post, but he sneaks it home. And he waves bye-bye to Carlton season. Oh, and here we go. Bit of a melee inside the Brisbane forwards 50 here. And someone's been reported. Oh, he yelled out the C word there, Oscar McInerney. Love to hear it. Live on television. So it's been a free kick here as well. It's going to go back to Brisbane. And they can pile on another one here. So Lachie Neale will go back and have an opportunity to pile on another goal. Hasn't had a big impact today, Lachie Neale, but of course, if they're going to be able to go all the way from here, the Lions, he's going to have to. Lachie Neale comes in. He's hooked it to the left, and it's through for a behind. So, 7 goals the difference now. So now Elijah Hollins feeds it through to Sard. Now Williams can go. McCluggage did well. Did really well. Well, they had a challenge in this second half, the Brisbane Lions, from Carlton. But they set this one up in the first half, the Lions. They have been brilliant tonight. Long kick inside the forward 50. Pitnet takes the grab. So Pitnet goes into the centre square for Taccone. Good spoil from Andrews. Spills now to Berry. Now McCluggage. Finish the job. Goes long. Last line is Lewis Young. So what's next for Carlton? They were second on the ladder with about 6 weeks to go in the season. And then they fell into the finals and really have made up the numbers at this point. Neil at half forward. He wants to go long. Smothered off the kick. Spills forward. Sydney have the bye next week because they won. So they play the winner of they play the winner of Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. So the free kick to Brisbane here. Fletcher on the wing. Inside to Wilmot. He can go long with it here. Darcy Wilmot has a long way to run. Carlton, no pressure on him. He can go all the way. He does go all the way. Rayner couldn't mark. Archie with the gather. Sock it off the ground by Cameron. And he joins the party. .48 points. And a country road around the ground again. Well, it's the last time they'll be at the Gabba this year, the Brisbane Lions. But maybe they can keep on going. Who knows? May not be the next week. May not be their last finals appearance. They've been brilliant tonight. They're going to come up against the Giants. Yeah, Neil gets hit in the throat, but he's the one who runs up to him. I don't know. It's not a good look either from Nick Newman. He'll probably get a week for it, but Lachie Neal's the one who charged at him. Charlie Cameron's still singing along with the crowd with West Virginia, with Country Road, and Mark Pitnet's going to get a shot at the top of the goal square. So those singing will quickly turn to boos as Pitnet will go back and have a shot. So Mark Pitnet comes in, kicks on goal straight through the middle, back to 42 points. But it's all been about Brisbane tonight. Yeah, Brisbane will play GWS next week. So that will be the Saturday night game. And the Friday night game will be the Power and GWS. Power and Hawthorn. Yeah, you can make the point of saying that Charlie Curnow could have been big in this game, but, they have been smashed. The fact is that Brisbane haven't put them away. They should have won this game by 80 points, Brisbane. They have dominated. The only reason why Carlton, I think, got back into this game is because Brisbane didn't put them away. God, that's a fucking weak free kick, by the way. That's a fucking weak as fuck free kick. So, bounce down in the middle. McInerney tapped down Cripps. Fed it through nicely to Hewitt. He'll send it long. Inside the forward 50 again. Pack of players form. Pitnet takes another good mark. Well, maybe they should have started him up there and DeConing on the field. The scoreboard doesn't really read the story. They have been embarrassed tonight, the Blues. So Pitnet comes in, kicks another goal, puts a little bit more respectability on the scoreboard. So 36 points the margin. Pidnet gets the last 2 goals for the Blues. So the first semi-final next week will be against the Giants and the Brisbane Lions. This will of course be on Saturday night, and tomorrow and on Friday night will be Port Adelaide up against the Hawks. So back we go. Walsh looking for the 1-2 with Cripps. He'll get the 1-2-3. In fact, Cripps now sends it inside the forward 50 towards the pocket. Hollands couldn't mark, runs out of bounds. And who knows what would have happened if Carlton started this game off a lot stronger. You can't win a game of can't expect to win a game of footy when you start this game 60-0. From the ruck contest, Pidnet brings it down. Cripps feeds it through to Hollands. He can snap it on goal. High ball. Cross the face. Mackay's an option, but he goes through for a behind. Long kick, player goes down. It's Danaher. He'll get the free kick. No, it's a free kick to the Blues. And then he's going to get 50. Is that Jacob Wiedering? I think it is. No, it's back to Lewis Young. Well, he's been one of their good performers tonight. So Lewis Young comes in to bring it under 30 points, and he's hooked it into the post. Zorko in short, finds Morris. In fact, it's Leicester, sorry. And Leicester goes across, finds Fletcher. Long kick. Up goes Wiedering. Takes the grab. Wants to go. Maybe to put a little bit more respectability on the scoreboard. Just works it short to Durden. Had a dirty night. Gives it back inside to Hewitt, who's been good. He'll send it inside the forward 54. 1-on-1, and Mackay takes the grab. And he's going to get 50, Harry Mackay. So to bring it back to 28 points, Mackay kicks the goal. He's got 3 tonight, Harry Mackay. He's been okay. He had a pretty dirty first half, but so did most of his teammates. So with a minute 07 left in Carlton's season, they've finished this game off pretty strong after the 20-minute mark of the second term. They've kicked 11 of the last 16 goals, but at that point, you'd almost say that the Brisbane Lions have put the cue on the rack. Neil will get the clearance. He sends a long handball, looking for Cameron. Couldn't keep it. Oh, under the legs there of Wiedering. He rolls around a little bit like a baby and then gets a pull up. Back in the ruck it goes. McInerney slapped it down. Sard through the handball to Newman. Further back now, Fantasia. Duck back inside to Sard. Just couldn't get this going earlier in the game, the Blues. So Motlop wants to go, gives it off to Sard. Handball nicely forward to Hewitt. He can work this one forward. Little kick outside was nice to Hollands. So now Ollie Hollands wants to wheel and go. Sends it to the top of the goal square. Up went Mackay, takes a good mark. Not paid by the umpire. Spills out. Durden trying to get it out of there. Leicester fighting hard. Dug it out. Did well. Clearing ball outside the defensive 50. Should be coming back. Has to track this one down as Cowan. Dragged down. Good play. No, couldn't hold the tackle there, Danaher. Then pushed him in the back for good measure. And it's out of bounds on the fall. Great work from Joe. Hasn't done a lot on the stats front, but he's been good with the defensive pressure tonight. So Joey Danaher's going to have to take this kick. So getting a huge round of applause, Joe Danaher. He's been questioned over the last couple of weeks for his consistency, for his defensive pressure, but he's definitely brought that tonight. And the Lions have finished the Blues season. They go on. They will go up against the Giants next week. A massive clash between those two great sides. It's going to be a game for the ages, and tonight the Lions send the Blues packing. Great win from the Brisbane Lions in the end. They won it from the first half. They led 60-0 at one stage. They let the Blues get back into it a little bit more respectability on the scoreboard, but it's all about the Lions tonight. A great win from them. That's going to be the end of the stream, guys. Thank you again for watching. The review will probably be out tomorrow morning, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Thank you again for listening and watching the stream.